Sorry, I was going to say, and then if you engrave the bullets, that would imply that you have the intention of them getting found. In the text messages with him and the lover, he had the intentions of getting the gun.
It's too obvious.
The prosecution not sharing evidence, then dumping 12 terabytes, like they're just trying to get this shit done and over. They never did the test to see if he had fired a gun. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever, if you have ever had it done, but if you ever got stopped at a gate going into a military base and they swipe your steering wheel or whatever to see if there's residue, it's the same test. They never did that test. Her reaction was just so weird. From filming the casket and her touching his hand, you don't do that. Like, I've been to plenty of funerals. Never once have I seen somebody film a cat. No. And then
get the fucking cameras off because I'd be upset.
Yeah. And what really threw me off was the fireworks. They had that huge event, and everything just seemed like a political rally.
It seems so weird that in this assassination case, all of a sudden, all these things, it's like a JFK all over again. All these things can't be found. We can't do this. We found this. We have this, but we don't know this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up. We had talked.
No, is that
Break
me
it
or
up, Mac. That's Mac.
He's gonna say something important again.
I know. We'll just have to wait for him to come back.
Imagine if he the camera cuts back in and he has a black bag over his head and he's getting pulled away.
It's just Cash Patel with a flintlock pistol.
Welcome to 5 O'Clock News. I am Dark Knight 50.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. If you guys are done hazing me about not having a video, or we can keep doing that.
No, it was fun, but it's over now. You ruined it.
Okay. All right. So I figured we're doing this video about Charlie Kirk. We'll start with the breaking news. I don't know how much it's breaking anymore, but I'm sure you guys saw it already, where they said the bullet doesn't match the gun. So
Chucker.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So,
what was
I
that
don't
thing
know.
that a bullet jacket fragment? And you're trying to tell me that all they have is a fragment of a jacketed bullet that hit someone in the neck?
All right.
That didn't leave his body, apparently, because he has a magic neck.
This is my 3 cents, maybe even a dime. This whole thing, it throws me off for a couple reasons. One, there is no way in such a high-profile assassination that we only have such limited amount of evidence with it. 2, the limited amount of evidence that they do have, and then they found the guy and they have the gun and all this other stuff. The federal government, you telling me, can't match this? There's local municipal police that solve cold cases on less.
Well, and that's something too where you just made me think of it, where like I could see it could be hard for a prosecution because in a situation like this, right, they all jumped on him. Like it's all a contaminated crime scene at that point. You know what I mean? They jumped on him, they ripped him out, they pulled him away, but there's still so much that just it all seems.
That's their fault, though. I mean, within the same day, Cash Patel was on there bragging. We had FBI on the scene within an hour and all this stuff. Like, if the contaminated crime scene, I mean, I don't know. If it is, it's their fault.
I don't even see how a contaminated crime scene. All right. Yes, it was contaminated, but there's just no way. We've seen years of our government work, federal government, local governments, whatever, work all types of crime scenes, cases, and whatever. And they have more with this case than some of the shit they have solved in previous years. That's my biggest deal. All of us, it's just so weird that with this, kind of like we were talking about with the last one, this administration and things either being always historic or always unprecedented, new or whatever, it seems so weird that in this assassination case, all of a sudden, all these things, it's like a JFK all over again. All these things can't be found. We can't do this. We found this. We have this, but we don't know this. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's not adding up. Not saying I'm a forensic. Yeah,
I'll agree with that. Like it's all super fishy. Like it's just nothing really seems. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think the not adding up thing kind of makes it even more fishy when you have Eric Kirk telling the judge she wants a speedy trial. Like, we got to wrap this shit up.
That's all part
and
of
I mean,
it.
we'll get into it a little bit more, but like the prosecution not sharing evidence, then dumping 12 terabytes, like
Well,
They're just trying to get this shit done and over with.
yeah, and do they have like? Can you see an official autopsy report, like, which from the videos of the time was where he was bleeding from? Are they saying that's an exit or an entrance wound?
An entrance, and
Pretty
the
sure they're saying
bone.
it's an entrance.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the bone stopped the.
Okay. So
That's what
here's
they
the
said.
one thing.
They said
I know.
he had this
And here's the
Iron
one
Man
thing
neck
where,
that stopped the bullet.
and also here's the one thing, like, who shoots for the neck? That
Well,
could be in defense. And hold on. That what if it was a super undercharged round, wet round, whatever, old round from the 40s,
old round,
whatever.
yeah.
And he was aiming for the forehead, and it was so undercharged it hit him in the neck. At what distance was he shooting?
It was like 200 yards. Nothing
Exactly.
crazy.
So imagine if there's that much drop at 200 yards, it could not have, like I said, wet powder. It could have old, and it could have been way undercharged, and then it could have been stopped in the spine. If you think of like 8-10 inch drop at 200 yards, like that would mean that bullet was something was wrong.
I don't know though, but
it's all theoretical. If that were
Right.
the case, is what I'm saying.
You also got to remember, it looks like if you watch the video, it looks like he intended to shoot when he was down here and then he raised up. So he might have been aiming here because remember, he got shot as soon as he raised up to here.
Okay.
So the dude could have been aiming at the head, and he pulls the trigger when he sits up because he got shot as soon as he sat up. But
all right, that makes sense.
Going back to this thing about the bullet not matching. So the ATF did their test. They said the bullet doesn't match the gun, or it's inconclusive, whatever. Then all of a sudden, and I'll show this video, but the FBI was like, well, we'll test it. And this test they're doing, and I looked this up myself, it's a debunked. They don't use this test anymore. It's been found to give not false positive, but it's like inaccurate. But anyways,
inconclusive type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point.
It is a good point, but it's also like, you go to the doctors and you get told you have to have your leg removed. You might say, I want a second opinion.
Opinion. Also,
yeah.
Let's not pretend like, that's in a perfect world. We're pretending like our governments actually like each other or talk to each other.
Yeah,
it's not uncommon for someone to scratch the FBI's back and I'll scratch the ATF's back, or vice versa, or whatever. So the FBI, they might have less than, whatever knowledgeable people than the ATF, but they may have a lot more pulling power and a lot more people to scratch their back than the ATF does. And that's just how our government works. Like, there's no, I would love to say if the ATF can't figure out, then the FBI has no shot. But unfortunately, that's not how our three-letter agencies and our government works. There's people that you would think can't pull shit off that actually will and can because of who they know.
And here's another thing that gets me, like, I feel like even if there's fragments enter the body and stuff, I feel, again, I don't know if there's such a thing, I don't know, but like they could do like a chemical on the gunpowder, like literally match it to the gunpowder in the casing to the gunpowder on the round. Like, doesn't that seem like one of the first, you'd be like, oh, well, let's see the residue on the bullet, see if it matches the chemical compounds that are on whatever the verbiage is.
They never did the test to see if he had fired a gun. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever
that too. Yeah.
If you have ever had it done, but if you ever got stopped at gate,
I have. I was flying here,
and they swipe your steering wheel or whatever to see if there's residue on. It's the same test. They never did that test.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I liked what you said back, but it put me on a different kind of train of thought. My thing is what if, like, the ATF's probably not a popular agency in the Trump administration. It's a, pro gun control.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Pro gun control administration. So, or
it's historically a target of, yeah, it's a historically a target of Republicans.
They get tasked with doing this and they do what they're supposed to. Run the test, whatever, they don't find anything. And then they say, okay, fuck off. We'll go to Kash Patel's FBI and they'll do this debunked test and get us results that sound better. I don't know. That's just me being,
I could
complete
see that.
conspiracy theorist,
Very, but I mean, like Ty said too, to relate to it is not only do we work that good together, there's from being in, I mean, especially Ty from someone who works with you or adjacent to you, say like he said, one 3-letter agency to another that you don't like, and you're like,
right?
okay, well now here's my time to make him look like an asshole.
Yeah, correct.
So now I can step in and come forth and be like, hey, look, it does match. Like, you were wrong. ATF, idiots. Like,
Yeah, you guys are incompetent. Shut down the agency.
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. Why not?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
What is a comparative bullet lead analysis? What is that? I need to know things. I like to learn. And lo and behold, we find out that the CBLA, the compositional analysis, is a discontinued forensic technique that analyzed trace elements, copper, arsenic, in lead to link crime scene bullets to suspects. It was primarily used by the FBI from the 1980s until 2004, but it was then abandoned in 2005 due to flawed scientific, statistical, and interpretive validity. Wait, they discontinued this like 20 years ago, 21 years ago, because they said it.
It upsets me to think that 2005 is 21 years ago. I just want
Yeah, that too. But maybe that's what she's talking about is what the question I had, where it compares the chemical levels to, but I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah. So that's the test they're doing. The FBI's doing. How? I don't know. Maybe it's been updated or something. I don't know. I don't work at the FBI.
Is there I mean, I suppose I could do my own research and what that test actually, because that's my question right now. Like, and I hate when like some of their titles for tests or are so vague, where it's like you're like what, and there's like they expect people to be like, oh, because they don't know it. Like, oh, okay, yeah.
That's exactly. Is that what it is? Is that what they test there?
It's the Wikipedia. It says this is just talking about it in 2004 when they determined, and then in 2005 when they disbanded. It says the board determined that the chemical analysis were being performed correctly and were probably sufficient to determine correlation between 2 bullets from separate sources. The report also concluded that the 7 trace elements selected for analysis, persic, antimony, tin, copper, bismuth, silver, cadmium, are acceptable for sample correlation. The report finally concluded that the procedure is the best available method for correlation. The greatest caveat in the report was that the statistical tests as applied by the FBI could cause confusion and misinterpretation when transmitted to prosecutors.
So arsenic, all that stuff is in gunpowder now to an extent. Well, silver
I
isn't,
also-
I know that.
I could just be ignorant on the fact, which I know I am. Again, like you said, I would have to dive deeper into it. But I think that focus is on the wrong thing. Could you match those things chemically? Yes. Would that help? Yes. But I still don't think definitively that puts him as the shooter. Like, did they come from the same thing? Sure. But at the same time, too, is that guy the shooter? Did he pull the trigger or not? Is he the one? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
sure,
yeah.
that seems like that was like a definitive, let's hang him out to dry. But to me, that's still, go ahead. I'm listening.
No. Finish your thought. I'm ADHD, so I'm waiting for you to stop, and I think you're going to stop, and you don't. It's nothing on you. Finish your thought.
I pause so I don't burp. I just say it doesn't. That test, I think if it was, let's say, positive, it was conclusive, that would have been the smoking gun, no pun intended, to say, hey, it was him. But it doesn't place him, you know what I mean? No, it doesn't really place him as a shooter. It may or may not. I'm not saying he's not the shooter, but
Right.
to me, it's not that definitive. Like, we need, matching gun case. Let's match, rifling. Let's match gun. We need a lot more
Yeah.
than just, the substance is the same substance. Oh, okay. It probably would match another gun too if we just going off substance.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
and I don't
was
know that
one
the
of
bullying. Go ahead. Sorry.
But that was one of my thoughts that I've been juggling in my head is, because me and Jordan have talked about it before. Like, we've all done stress shoots. We've all done nothing like that, but the stress he's under, what he's doing, the theory of breaking the gun down having the casing or something still in the gun doesn't make sense to me. What makes more sense to me, if that's the case, that gun fired it, was someone else shot it, then went and planted it, and what he had was already broken down or a prop. And so it was never taken apart. It was shot. It was brought there by someone else to go in his path, whatever. Again, I'm kind of far from it now. When it was happening, I was, looking into it a little more. But yeah, it's just that seems more plausible to me than him ever pulling out an Allen wrench. I'm pretty sure it's Allen, taking the shot, lifting the gun, taking off getting off the roof, running. Like, it's just none of that. None of that makes any sense to me in any world.
I agree, and we'll hop into that in a second. But and I looked it up before we did this video. I looked up to see if that was still the official story, that he took the shot, took the gun apart, jumped off the roof, and it still is. That's still the official story, and it makes no sense. Why would this guy take the gun apart, then put it back together, wrap it in a towel, and leave it in the woods?
Yeah, it makes no sense. To me, that makes no sense. Like, if I had just done that, I would not put it back together, and I would ditch that shit. I'd spread it out, bury it. I'd take the casing out of it. I'm just, you know what I mean? But like, never ever would have crossed my mind to be like, oh, let's put this back together. Let's wrap it in a towel nicely. Let's just lay it here on the ground. Like, what?
I'll play devil's advocate with it, but I disagree with it. I disagree with the devil's advocate I'm getting ready to play. We're thinking logically. Also, all three of us we've served. That's where we know each other from. Like, we've at least gone through some kind of either stress shoot. We've either been in situations where we have to think rapidly, do this and do that. So we, even when we don't want to or think we do think tactically. That's just ingrained. Let's say the average person, right? Let's just take an average 21, 22-year-old today, and we put them on a roof and we give them the same mission set that he had. You got to take somebody out and don't get caught. That's the only thing we tell them. Take the shot, don't get caught. I'm curious if the average person or untrained young person, what they, based on them being scared and just either stuff from either video games and movies or just what they think is the right thing to do, I'm curious how much of what they would do, an untrained or untactical mind person would do in that situation. I'm curious on if it would match. I don't know if he would take the gun apart, but let's even go as far as say they were a hunter. So let's give them some kind of shooting experience because they would have to pull the trigger. I'm curious if they would jump off the roof. They might, because they're like, oh shit, I just killed a guy. They might run and like, oh shit, I gotta get off this roof and jump off the roof. But I'm curious on how much it would match, that. And that's just playing devil's advocate. I would never, because in my mindset, I would be like, I'm not leaving the evidence behind. I'm not going to leave my weapon system behind because that's how they're going to track me down. Also, if I get into a tight spot, I need this weapon system to defend myself. Like, I'm not just going to, I didn't just assassinate a high value target and then get caught and go, you got me. At this point, I'm probably fighting to the end at that point. That's like, so our mindsets are different than that one. So I'll play the devil's advocate and post to y'all. How do you think the average untactical brain person, would think? I'm curious how much it would match.
And I kind of take that into thought, but it's just the taking it apart, putting it back together, like that. Just I agree with that. No, I know, but that's where I struggle the most. What were you gonna say, Jordan?
No, I was gonna say, to go off of that, but my biggest counterpoint to you playing the devil's advocate piece would be the amount of stress. That's the one thing that's throwing me off. I think we can all agree that that is a perfectly manageable shot. That's not a hard shot. 200 yards hitting, he's a big dude. He was 6'5". It's not a hard shot. This kid has shot. He's shot. Yeah. This kid has shot before. He shot that gun before. So I think it's perfectly plausible to say that he could make that shot. My question is, and maybe there's some of you guys can answer, how much stress would you be under in that situation? If you climbed on a roof to assassinate a public figure, I don't know if I could make the shot in that situation. Like, I wouldn't be calm.
And that's my biggest, and it goes back to taking the gun apart, jumping off, making the shot. Like, this dude, as far as we know, has never killed someone, has never been in that. That's what makes it even harder for me,
Yeah.
is that in that moment, he takes the shot and like a fucking assassin in a movie,
Right.
takes the gun apart, puts it in his backpack, shots over, jumps off. And like, who's
Mhm.
to say,
And
you know, he wasn't
and
in
I'll play
go ahead.
I'll play devil advocate for my own point, because the dude was on antidepressants, he was on
I was going to
SSRIs.
say he could be,
So
yeah,
that type of stuff, you know, it does make you emotionally numb. So there is that aspect to it. Could he have climbed up there and made the shot? Sure. I don't know. I just imagine it would be an incredibly intense and stressful situation
of
to do an
course. Even if you
assassination,
have,
you
you're
know?
on mood suppressors, like, and that's where it
And it,
leads me more to like, was he in a broken state of mind, like more than mood suppressants? Like,
and here's another
was
thing
he,
too. The dude had never been to this campus before. That's the official story. He had never been to that campus. He wasn't a student there. He showed
and
up
so
at
he knows the
8:30.
building he can crawl up on, and
Yeah, he showed up at 8:30, took the shot at 12:20. So less than 4 hours, he figured out, I mean, let me zoom down here a little bit. But this is where Charlie was at, and that is where the shot came from.
where was he?
Like, Charlie was
In
here.
that little,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's where the shot came from. Dude, it would be so disorienting going to a campus you've never been to before and then trying to figure out how to pull off an assassination the same day.
And then also, like, a lot of these buildings, if you've been in any, not schools or anything, but in a lot of these commercial buildings, it's not that easy just to get up onto a roof.
No.
It's
No,
not
it's
like,
not.
let me just walk up here or go up this, like, most of them are secured to a certain extent.
If not, if not all, and I could speak on that just because my current job.
Yeah, that's what I was
Mhm.
going to say. Yeah.
A lot of roofs are because they kind of have to be, or they have like parapet roofs where things are, they protect or not protect, but they kind of hide like your ducting and AC units from the public and stuff like that. And so a school like that, a school structure like that would 100% have secured roofs, like secure roof access. Like they would. And if it wasn't secure, it would be hard as hell to get to. Like you wouldn't just go in there and see a sign that says roof access. You would just kind of have to know building construction and go, the roof access is probably that way up here. There's just no shot. For someone that has never been there, it would take you longer than it took him to get to the roof to figure out how to get to the roof.
That's what I mean. Like, so for him
Right.
to go walk around, see where the stage is, 4 hours, we could do that, right? You could walk, look at a building, look at another building, be like, I like this building. That's still taking time. But then figure in the time of walking around, well, what's the security like? Because I'm about to walk in here with a gun, take a shot with a gun, and then try to get out. Okay, I
That's
got
also
that figured
4
out.
hours to think about it, though. That's
I
my
know.
thing. Is like,
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in it, and I'm thinking how I would think, not how he would think. But 4 hours, I think I would be like, oh, I don't. This might not be
Great.
the fucking.
Great.
This isn't a really good plan.
It just always brings me back to great. Now I have to walk into the dark woods to find a dude crying.
Yeah, fuck. That was
Another part which came after, another part that makes it, well, we're talking about not adding up. Maybe it does, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. But how was his death afterwards announced by the president? Not by the news, not by, like, it's just like, it's so weird that's where the announcement comes from, is from the president. Dude wasn't a figure. I'm not gonna say he wasn't a political figure, but for all intents and purposes, who wasn't a senator,
Yeah.
wasn't a congressman, wasn't any of that. You know what I mean? And I'm just throwing it out there that it's so weird.
It is weird.
That's where his announcement, like the announcement, came from. Not the
Part of me also feels like that's a very Trump thing to do. Because he
very
was like, he was
yes,
somewhat close, and Trump's kind of is a hothead, and he's like, no, I'm giving the news.
yeah,
But again, it's like, the fuck?
yeah. I do agree with you. I do think that is a very Trump thing to do, but I also find it also very strange too. Like, why him? Why then? It's just, to
And that
me, if
just
a
leads
host,
to it all.
yeah, to me in a situation, if one thing doesn't add up or one thing stinks, and something, shit happens, okay. But when the whole
The
bag
whole fucking thing is just what?
stinks or
Yeah.
doesn't, no, something's nothing in the world. Don't get me wrong, shit in the world does go bad. There are things where it's just like, shit happens. But nothing in the world does everything just not like that just doesn't happen. And when that does happen, you have things like JFK. You just have all these things that just never get solved, and it just stinks. It's just like,
And they're so,
And
and part of me, maybe it's the conspiracy side, but they're so good at it. They're so good at like, and then just letting it play out and letting people run with it because they know
forget
people are
about
going to
it.
get distracted and forget about it. And then, it's only long-term people who hold on to it or go back to look at it and just bring it up again. Like, yo, no, this whole thing stinks. Yeah, we knew that, but it leads to the thing where like, the age of information and how I feel nowadays is that like, yeah, you do know this. What can you do about it? And it's kind of
also,
like,
go ahead though, Jordan. I got my thought locked in. No, I got it
Okay.
locked.
No, I was going to say off of your point, the Trump, tweeting it. The thing that threw me off more than the Trump tweet, I'm going to have a stroke here, was the Benjamin Netanyahu tweet because it was like minutes afterwards and he's tweeting, whatever, Charlie Kirk, beloved friend to Israel. Like, dude, you're fighting a 7-front war allegedly right now, but you got time to worry about this. Like you said, he's not a senator. He's a political figure. He has huge influence with young people, but you're right. It stinks of a cover up. And I think everybody
yeah,
with a brain felt that the second it happened.
no, I agree. Yeah.
My next two were the other part that just smells rotten to me is it being related to almost the last podcast we were talking about, but also in the sense of what stinks is how chaotic this administration or anything related to the administration is always weird. How is there 2 assassination attempts in one administration or 2 assassinations in an administration? Never before. Like it's like on high profile people is what I'm saying. Like first the president, and then they downgrade and go to Charlie Kirk. And what's with all the assassination? That's just super
I have,
odd.
I,
Also,
okay, keep going. I have it locked.
I don't. Do you? Also, um, with that one, I feel like that was the next and this is going towards the cover up or the conspiracy theory, a conspiracy theory. It was the next best thing to drive the agenda forward. You can't kill Trump because that is top dog. That you need him to drive whatever train forward. So who is next? And then you have Charlie Kirk, and then his death was absolutely used like a presidential death. Things were being commemorated. Flags were half-mast. There were like commemorative cups. There was this. There was that. Remember Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk this. There were statues. They were trying to make his assassination day a federal holiday. He was treated like a presidential death, and dude wasn't even a senator,
Well,
not a congressman, none of that. Just a dude that aligned with the administration. And I think it was the next best thing to drive the agenda forward without actually going for the top dog, is what it kind of felt like.
well, there was a more recent thing. I have 2 things. Was a more recent thing saying that he was actually, how honest is it? I don't know, but I could kind of see it. He was like his path and what he was kind of expected to do. Like a lot of people think that he was going to be the next, or not necessarily the next, but down the line, a presidential candidate. And then, I said I had
Okay.
it locked in. Oh, about why there's more assassinations. I agree, it's a lot, but we're getting more and more into the realm of like in society in general in the United States of like specializing character. And all these people, you have the right to say this, and social media and
Sure.
access to information is where people are becoming radicalized so much faster. Because, and me and Jordan were talking about this today, is that like there's a certain people that do no research. they get told something and they're like, oh, and you know, people have come to me, oh, because they know I'm into it a little. Oh, did you see this? This is crazy. And you look at it and you're like, oh, well, this is
Yeah,
clearly
that doesn't make
ridiculous.
any
This is
sense.
clearly,
Yeah.
but there's so many people out there that are like, oh, and they lock onto it and they're like, yeah, you know, I love cats now too. And it's like, whatever. It's just, and I think that's kind of a part to what you were saying, where you could kind of say, yes, this is unheard of, but you could also kind of attribute it to how people are and how everything is nowadays, like especially in the United States. And a lot of countries are the same way to different degrees. But everyone, and it's something I like to say, people can hate me or love me for it, but it's like, you're not that fucking important. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that fucking important. And everyone is being taught that what you have to say matters and blah, like, you're important. Like, at the end of the day, okay, if you like, you can go vote. Like, I don't believe that shit fucking matters, but like, you're not that fucking important. So people need to get that out of their heads. And that's what I think drives these people fucking crazy. Especially, you know, 20-year-old, I like to say 20-year-old white chicks with multicolored hair. You're not that important.
No, I think that's, you know, an important piece of it. I think we're definitely more prone to legitimate assassinations just because the country's more divided than I don't know if it's ever been. I mean, definitely more than ever been in my lifetime, but that's just my lifetime, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
been.
speak for the 60s. I can't speak for, you know, back then.
We'll say
But
never. It's more divided than it has been in recent history, because I don't think it's ever been more divided than the Civil War. At the
yeah,
it was
true.
it's literally was
That's
split
true.
two.
That's
So
true. That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
we'll say in modern
But
history, because we can be even more divided than
But
the Civil
people
War.
aren't the same way
yeah.
back then.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm
I'm
saying
just saying on the division.
I get what
and
you're
I
saying.
think they
I
got
like
it. I think they got us so locked down that you won't ever see a civil war anyways, no matter how bad it got.
That's
But
it.
my point is like, shoot, I lost my train of thought. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
I talked about furries and now he's excited. Look at him.
No, okay. No, my train of thought was like, there's no, what I was going to say is there's no middle ground anymore, or it's very, very slim. The people who are legitimately like, I'm not married to this side and I'm not married to that side. And by the way, the sides are incredibly far apart. It's not like they're close anymore, in my opinion. I think you've got the right that's all the way over here, the left that's all the way over here, and there's not too many people, I don't think.
And that's something we can get into. I think that's something that could be a whole thing we could talk about, because we're straying here and you're gonna get me distracted, squirrel. But oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. The computer made a noise. But no, I would agree. And it's something I'd like to dive into, whether it's a product of, say, media and a product of communication, or because, you know, way back when it wasn't that easy for one person to communicate 1,000 people so quickly, or
Another
communicate
thing,
to 1,000 people so quickly. So is it a product of that, or is it a product of like social design? Like, is, say, the government, or if there is a one world government, and it does seem that way, like there's political, they're driving us apart. Religion, they're driving us apart. Sex, they're driving us apart. You know, farm animals, whether you should be able to keep, like, because I don't know if you saw it. Sorry, sidetrack. Oregon is putting out a vote to make it illegal for you to raise and kill animals to feed your family.
about that. Back
But
to Mac's point.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just go fuck myself. It's cool.
No, because it goes off of your point. It goes off of it goes off of your it goes
We
off
are
of your
on
point
camera.
too. What you just said, and about Mac saying them choosing Charlie Kirk. This event in itself divided people, because who did they have, you know, kill him? It was this dude who's dating this trans for murdered, you know, one of the top conservatives in the country. That divides people right there. Now you see people, you know, going
And
to
I will
these.
say I do lean more toward that it's by design. I think it's accelerated by the access to media and communication, but like,
Yes.
I can't help but feel it's by design. It's just that every corner you turn, there's a new division. You believe this, you believe that. If you believe that, I can't, like, relax. Like we all have different views on things, and we're good friends, so we can tell each other like, fuck you, but we don't take it personal. It's not like, well, you believe this and I believe that, and so I can't talk to you. No, we're still going to talk, and we're going to tell each other we suck, but we're going to be fine at the end of the day. It's going to be like, oh, okay, good game. And people aren't like that, because now it's so, to add on to it, we're specializing character so much that it's like, no, you should be mad. It's okay to be mad. Like, bro, I just said I like coffee instead of tea. It's not that fucking serious.
Gay.
See?
Yeah. Hot tea's only for when you're sick. If you drink hot tea for pleasure, prison.
I like a good cuppa.
Oh, see. All right. I kind of wanted to go into like just the kind of official timeline and break that down, but I figured we would start with, we kind of already did, him getting there. You know, we said he had 4 hours to figure out where he's going to shoot from, all this stuff. Never been to the campus before. But if you remember, they said initially he had snuck the gun in his backpack. Then when everybody was like, that backpack's not big enough, the gun would fucking stick out the top. They said, oh, he had it in his pants. So I got 2 videos I wanted to show. First one's this one. It's the screenshots from the security cameras of him in the stairwell, just with how much his leg bends here.
Yeah, that's what is.
That's also not something somebody wears who wants to kill Charlie Kirk. I just want to say that's a pretty conservative T-shirt.
If you're trying to blend in.
Listen, we're not here to defend the original story. All right, just go with it. This dude does not have a fucking 30-06 bolt rifle in his pants.
Even broken down. Oh, well, yeah, in the backpack alone, but in the pants.
Yeah, because that's what they said he had.
Yeah.
They said he had the rifle in his pants.
Well, because already his left leg, we saw it almost at 90 degrees. So that cuts that out. We need to see the right leg bent now.
Dude.
Yeah,
there's no way. There's no way there's a gun in those pants. And then I found this video of a dude who recorded the stairwell. They're not steep steps, but there's no way you're walking through there. You know, a bolt action gun is...
Yeah, you're going to be...
It's hip to floor. You got to rock with a straight leg if you put that thing down your pants. This dude sounds out of shape now that I'm watching it again.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way you're making up the stairs without shit in your pockets.
There is to say mid torso down the pant leg, but then he's going to have to hold it. He'd be walking around like this, or with a hand in the pocket or something.
My question with that would be, I'm not going to say there's no way. I would say there is no way without being noticed or whatever. My question would be, how crowded was the stairwell? How much time did he have? Because I think if you really wanted to, you could. I do think you could make it up some steps. It would just look weird as shit. So I'm not saying that we're wrong in the sense that I think you could make it up the steps, but there is no way that you're going to make it up the steps looking like you would have to look to go up steps with that shit. People would be like, either you have a fake leg or a big ass dick, and this dude is just no way. There's just no way that this dude's going up the stairs with that. So I would like to know how crowded was it. If there was nobody around, maybe. But if there were people around, then I have a hard time believing.
Then witnesses.
That's my next point.
Yeah, I saw some dude with a big ass dick walking up the stairs. Like, oh, maybe that's our guy. Like,
that's the guy.
That's the dude. Big dick deal. Like, I just don't see that in a crowded place. And the other picture where he was outside going down, where they said he had a straight leg, it's the same thing. Like, who saw him? Who didn't see him? There's a lot of questions that I would have there to include. Just kind of looking at the guy, I was trying to look into his history. I knew about his history, but I was like, well, maybe there's something deeper. And I'm not really finding much that would show that he is just a guy that would pick up a damn 30-06 and go kill a dude. I looked deep. Even they said that he had that. Have you seen where they said the bullets that he used were engraved?
Yes. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. It's a dude. It's a scrawny, simp-looking dude that's maybe undercover gay or dating a trans dude, and the bullets are engraved. If you read this, you are gay. Laughing my ass off, stuff like. he wouldn't. There's just no way because in his mindset,
That sounds like a handler. Like some dude at the fucking CIA is like,
correct,
what do kids say? Let's do this. Like,
correct. There's some
yeah,
58-year-old man that was in charge of, hey, you just decide what the bullets are gonna say. And like, oh, what would a gay little kid say? Oh, you're gay.
yeah,
Nobody says that. Like,
He
and
he
he,
looks it up. Gay little kid sayings.
yeah, he's yeah, it's that's cap. Like that had nothing to do
Yeah.
with the
yeah.
bullet,
What?
of the bullet. So there was no way with a guy. Okay, I can't say no way, but it's highly unlikely that a dude with that background would even put those things on a bullet. It would say shit like "fuck
Yeah,
you" or shit like
Mhm.
yeah.
whatever the case.
Die.
It would
Yeah,
show. It would bear his emotion and his thought. He's sending that bullet to somebody else. Like that's the reason he engraved it, is because he's sending a message to that person and to everyone else. And obviously he's against that side of the political realm. So he obviously would want to send a message of fuck you, or gay people have a voice, or trans people have a voice. He wouldn't put, if you read this, you're gay, laughing my ass. Why? That doesn't make
Right.
sense to his
yeah.
character. It doesn't.
Well, also to go with what
Well,
you said
here's
of
the
like, okay, go ahead.
Shit.
no, I was gonna say, here's the thing though, is his character switched in like a few years. Because if you look into his background, I'm sure you saw this. Dad's Republican, raised in a Republican household. He's going to Halloween as Trump. He's wearing all these, conservatives type t-shirts, the grunt style stuff, all this stuff. Then he's got this flip, and you're telling me what, 3
He
years
got
later,
he got some
you're
furry booty.
assassinating?
He got some
Right.
furry
Like
booty, and it was like, this is my life
dude, I'm not
now.
He
I'm
he
not even
tapped the
joking,
shit
but
out of a
like
fox.
that's what it stinks like. It stinks like somebody, if he's even the shooter, that
Well, and the thing I was gonna say that kind of well, not related, but you mentioned like, and it goes back to an old video, and I'm sure you can pull it up, but like witnesses. You would think someone would have seen someone walking around with a big dick. You would have think someone like, if asked, we need to talk to you. Yeah, I saw some dude, doing this. And it goes back to that video where the kid's trying to talk to the reporter, and then all these people come up and get, like, the video I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like all these other people pretty much come up to him like, no, you're done, and like pull the kid off, and it like that's all just more stinky shit. Like,
That is the biggest issue, is that it seems like this whole thing not just stinks of cover up, but it stinks as, for me, it smells more like agenda pushing than it does cover up, because it's every time it's just a way to stay relevant and push a message. Because if, let's say they really wanted to, and the federal government used its full on assets to
yeah,
really
you're
solve
dead.
this,
You're dead.
yeah, and
To erase it, you're
no,
saying, okay.
but the same on both sides. But to solve it, it will be solved immediately. You telling me the full extent of the United States government can't figure out an assassination of 200 yards? False. That is false. So to me, it's more of a driving point. The more you remember Charlie Kirk, the more people, like, remember when it happened. Like I said, it was a change. It was more of a division, but it was a drastic change. Like, why are flags going half mast? Not saying it's not unfortunate that a dude lost his life, but why is it going half mast for basically a influencer? Like it did, like,
And to say, I honestly, before any of this, I didn't know much of anything about I wasn't, I had seen clips of his stuff on Instagram, whatever, but I wasn't someone who followed him. I
same,
didn't,
correct?
yeah, like I didn't
me
even
either.
know he had so much pull.
I had followed him, but I hate like debate content, shit like that. It just all of it's
Yeah.
whatever, either side. It just seems negative. Nobody ever changes their fucking mind in any of those types of things. Like it's just people arguing at the end of the day, and I don't like that shit. But yeah, I mean, he had a huge following. It's even sure they blew up since then, obviously. But
Don't
I don't know. Go ahead, Mac.
don't let it happen again. I don't think.
Bitch.
I think it was the perfect amount, and this is again going towards, let's say it's a cover up, or let's say it is a conspiracy. I don't think he was the intended, like it wasn't exactly a plan. I think it fell into whoever, let's just say it is a conspiracy theorist, whoever's lap. Like, I think across the board, no one knew about Charlie Kirk, just people that followed him. And for the most part, people that did follow him were on that side of the fence anyway, where he really, all his arguments was just basically, for lack of better terms, on the Republican side. And of course, people, the Republican way, but yeah, he's great because he's just speaking their mind out loud and publicly and saying the stuff that they would like to say. But other than that, I don't think they knew. And I think as his voice grew, and then as Trump and the administration and the Republican side found him, they were like, he can say stuff that we can't, and he can reach the people like we can't. Let's bump him up. Let's elevate him and use him. And he didn't really get big until
He was definitely a tool in Trump's.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Till he
once his
wasn't.
voice, till he wasn't. And that's what I mean. He wasn't big until the administration pumped him up, and Trump started, this is my guy. This is this. He started using. Trump made him a household name because before he was just a guy on videos. Who gives a shit?
Because he was part of his one of
He's
his
part of the
big,
MAGA movement, obviously.
but
Or
what was the big during the
you got a big
my
guy.
brain? Yeah, no, I don't. It's gone. It's lost. He pulled him on stage with Elon and everyone, and during his campaign, and one of the big events, he was up there. He was part of it. So exactly, like I think so many, and that's more where I learned that he was a bigger, at least in that sense, than seeing stupid clips on Instagram. It was like, oh shit, he's up on the stage of a big event for Trump for election. It's like, okay, he is a little more than just some dude.
Random dude.
And then
Yeah.
100%.
and then he got shot as soon as he started going against the narrative.
Okay, that's what I'm
As
saying.
soon-
Correct. As soon as he got big
Yes, sir.
enough and he did what he needed, and he wasn't even totally
what he
against the
want?
narrative. Yes, he just slightly changed his opinions and did what he wanted, and not exactly wasn't on the leash. He didn't even change his mindset. He was still pushing the agenda, so to speak. It just didn't sound the way they wanted it to sound. And then all of a sudden,
Said, hey, let me remind you, you ain't that
Dude.
important, and put a bullet in his fucking neck. Like, oops.
It's just like we were talking about this last episode, Mac, about these politicians staying in till they're fucking 95 because they've
Oh, yeah,
taken
that's
money.
fucking-
I said this
Keep
because
going,
they've
boys.
taken
I'll be
money.
right back. 1 second.
Okay. But because they've taken money from these whatever groups, I think it's the same thing with him. I think he took I know he took a bunch of money from AIPAC to help build his organization. You don't get to take that money, then start talking out against Israel. Who the
Yeah.
fuck do you think you are?
that money came with stipulations and rules. That money
Yeah.
came with laws. 100% it did.
100%. Yeah, that's been my whole thing is like, because that's when he got shot. You look a couple months before, it was when we hit Iran, and he said we don't need to be doing it in Iran. And then all the stuff comes out about Candace Owens' investigation and the text messages with him meeting with BB and stuff saying, look, I can't really support this stuff. Then the text messages coming to him about saying, this just seems like a freaking cult. Like they want me to support everything they're doing, and I'm not going to do that. And then the dude gets shot.
Mysteriously.
Yeah. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think we'll ever know, but I find it a huge coincidence that one, this event was set up like 2 weeks prior. That doesn't make any sense. You're telling me as this massive organizations, and this is something Candace Owens even said, you're not setting stuff up like a year in advance. And what college campus is just, allowing events to be held within 2 weeks? That's crazy.
You know what, though? I agree and I disagree with that. I don't think the average or any college campus would allow something in 2 weeks. But I do think that a college campus, once you say something like you want to have a Charlie Kirk at the time, a Charlie Kirk debate, and then you started saying presidential this and that, there's probably no college debate. That's huge for them, because then they could be like, hey, the Charlie Kirk debate happened at this college. They said that's PR. That's nothing but good PR. That's nothing but good for the college. It's good for, you know what I mean? So I can 100% see them going.
That's a great point.
I can see them going, yeah. You know what I mean? What college? You know,
And it was the first one.
yes, yeah. There's no college that once you have a big name like that is going to tell a big name, hey, somebody that's very close with the president wants to have a live debate and it's going to be televised. There's going to be all these big names and people. Can you fit us in? They're going to be like, well, we were going to do a Feed the Orphans event, but fuck them. If their parents didn't want them, we're not gonna do that shit either. We want Charlie Kirk on. We want Charlie.
We got Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, get all these homeless kids, get all these kids out of here. We got this Charlie Kirk event going down.
We'd love to help. We got Charlie Kirk coming in.
Yeah.
Huge deal. They're planning to shoot him right on campus. We've got bigger stuff to do.
They knew about the assassination.
They knew about it.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we got to get janitorial crew and all this other shit. We don't have time, you know, just like their parents. We don't have time to be dealing with these fucking orphans. Like we just
He whispers to the kids,
give them to a community college or some shit, and then come see us next year.
He whispers to the kids, he's like, listen, I'd love to help you guys. We got Charlie's assassination coming up in 2 weeks. All right, we've got bigger fish to fry. Come back in a couple months. We'll help you out. We can't do it right.
Yeah, it just gives them like a box of like chicken biscuits and like string cheese. It's just one string cheese for the group. And they're like, all right, give it.
Yeah. You guys are used to being hungry. This will work. Dude, somebody's telling me to shut up. I know this guy too. Fuck you. You shut up.
Yeah. Just rude.
Should we just move on without him? I say we just move on, and then when he comes
let's-
back, we'll just look like we're ending it, just to throw him off. But I don't know. Matt was saying earlier about how the bullet could match up with the official story. I don't buy that. I don't think there's any way.
You're breaking up. You're freezing up on me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Am I better now? Boy, you're good on my end. Uh-oh. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay. But Matt was saying how, you know, he thinks the bullet could have been old or something. And I don't know. I don't think there's any way you get shot with a 30-06 and your head is not barely hanging on. Oh, he just disappeared. Well, now it's just me. Now you guys get to look at my face for a couple seconds till I get him back in here. But anyways, what we're talking about, we're just talking about how the damage doesn't add up. And I think that's something that a lot of people think is that does not match the bullet damage of a 30-06. And I'm not going to show this video till they get back in because I want them to see it. But anybody who's ever hunted before, you don't even have to hunt with a big caliber. But I mean, your neck's what? This big around? You're telling me a bullet, a 30-06, enters this guy's neck and doesn't even exit. Let's not even talk about the damage that it could do. And we'll show that here in a second. You're telling me it doesn't even exit. And their excuse is that it doesn't exit because he has a magic neck. What are we talking about? He has a magic. Mac disappeared. We got to wait for him to come back. I've been here by myself.
Oh yeah, internet.
But we were I was gonna show this video of these guys shooting this rifle at something similar to a human neck. It's not a one-for-one copy, obviously. All right, he's back. He got too close to the truth again.
Man,
he's a part of the problem.
I
All right.
Which
all right, let's watch this.
To.
Let's watch this video. It's this dude shooting something, you know, it's obviously not a fucking human neck because that would be a crime. It would be way cooler though if he just like an illegal immigrant and was like, we're gonna test this out. You can put that on YouTube, but
no audio, at least for me.
I don't have it either.
It's slow motion. You don't want to hear it anyway.
Was that a fucking transformer that just shot this?
Yeah.
We just want the Decepticon
Optimus
blast a cow
Prime,
leg. Yeah.
Was it ballistic or you already played it?
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's what it did.
Anyone with any knowledge of firearms knows that a neck isn't stopping a 30-06 at 200 yards.
Not even accidental.
Yeah, like, and that was the only thing that led, like, could have just for the thought experiment was bad round, you know, on the verge of a misfire or
I don't even think that.
But even still, yeah, like it's gonna be more damage than this a little.
Yeah, it's
broken into 3 pieces, and that's more meat, more bone than a human neck. I mean, I don't know.
Have you seen the
This
video of the dude
idea
breaking
that
down the rifle too?
yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
Just yeah.
Uno momento.
Yeah. So
Here we go.
while he's pulling that up, never mind. He's pulled it up faster than I thought.
No,
I'll
go
just
ahead. Go
shut the
ahead. I
hell
haven't
up.
hit play.
No, let's hit that thing. Hit that thing.
That thing. Hit that thing.
We're not listening to that.
He's
I want to say
telepathic.
something. I want to say something real
All
quick.
right. Okay.
Remember, they said his dad identified the rifle on every fucking bolt action rifle looks exactly like that. Every bolt,
Yeah,
you go to
that's my-
any, you go to
that-
any hunting shop, that's what they all look like. What are you telling me? You identified that as your rifle? They all come
He
with
knew
that same.
He knew
shitty-
every nook and cranny, every scratch. Maybe he had an inscribed, I love trans on that shit. You don't know.
Yeah. Just like the bullets. He said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been. Oh yeah, that's my son's rifle. Look at it. It's never been used. That's how I know it's his. It's his. It's brand new.
Is that a black stock with a shitty scope that comes with the rifle? Yep, that's the one I have. Like,
Got that one at Walmart too. Yeah.
that's another point I wanted to bring up is you got to remove the
Round.
bolt to take those type of guns apart. So the round comes out, but they found the gun with the round in it. So you're telling me he was smart enough to pick up the round, but he left the fucking screwdriver? And then he was also dumb enough to put the round back in the gun that he was going to leave?
That he reassembled without the screwdriver? Magic.
Yes, that's what they're telling me. If you're wondering, yes.
Precisely, sir.
They also said he did
Yeah, in
this
case
in
there's
something
any
crazy.
confusion.
It was like, I think it was under 10 seconds from the time he took. I want to say it was like 4 seconds, but I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say 10 seconds from the time he took to the shot to the time when you see the video of him running across the room.
That's
We'll
what
just
I
say
tell
it was
my
10
wife.
seconds.
You
What? Your wife's
No,
an assassin?
Nothing. No.
he was talking about the time.
Oh, that's actually an
Fucking
impressive time.
idiot.
On the bottom, put those away in the Allen key. Grab my Torx key, remove the scope, put everything in the backpack, make sure I have everything, and make my way downtown. Okay, which is going to take a lot longer for him than it is for me, especially because his fine-tuned motor function, something as simple as grabbing an Allen key to a little bolt, is going to be extremely impaired due to a dump of adrenaline throughout his bloodstream. An extreme elevated heart rate is going to make these fine-tuned skills extremely difficult. I mean,
27 seconds. I don't think you
Yeah,
need to
and-
take the scope off, but
I mean, depending how much lithium the dude's on, if after you just killed someone, you're gonna be like, oh,
Maybe he's got like a Wally arm. That shit just fucking the wrist just free spins or some shit. Yeah.
like
You
like
could
the AI robots. Have you seen those
Yeah.
videos? Like,
Yeah. Maybe he's got one of them. You never know.
too bad he was wasting it on a dude's booty hole instead of something else.
you don't know. You might be missing out.
No, I'll pass. I'll pass on that one.
Yeah. If you let a Wally arm man, fucking socket your booty hole, there ain't no hope for you.
That's a good drop too. My knees wouldn't handle that too well.
That's not a drop. That's a
I'd
fall.
hit the ground.
There's a difference
Yeah.
between it. That's a fall. That is not a drop. A drop is like 3 feet,
Yeah.
2 feet. That is falling.
And look at how you
Why
have
wouldn't
this
you
pause.
just take the
Cash Patel
stairwell?
looks like some dude who should not be the head of the FBI.
Yeah. Of course he should.
Yeah. Yeah. Patel called me 45 times last month to tell me about reverse mortgages and some other shit.
I thought you were going to say he
Jesus.
called you that. I thought you were going
Something
to
about-
say he called you to ask you about, hey, what do you think happened with the Charlie Kirk shooting? I heard
No.
you shot expert.
I need some advice here.
Yeah, I heard you went to Master Marksmanship Trader. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let me.
Does this sound like a good lie?
Yeah, does
No?
this sound like it
All
was
right,
a good
great.
shot? I told him no. I said the MOA doesn't make sense, and he said, "What's a MOA?" Then he hung up in my face.
What's a MOA?
Play the damn video.
Okay, this dude walking across the screen. Who's
Would have
this
hear
guy?
that man hit the fucking ground. Because that dude
Who's
would
this
have
guy who's just like, he's just like, nope, I'm minding my fucking business. This dude, that is the king of minding your own fucking business. He said that's got to be the shooter. He said,
And you're not telling me right now. Look at that parking lot. You're telling me there's no one sitting in their car. Any given parking lot you go in, there's 1 to 2 people just sitting in a car going,
And it's
Fuck,
at
I
a
hate this place.
college. You know,
Yeah.
someone's sitting in that car smoking a bowl right
Yes,
now.
something. Or
Look at this
a
dude.
professor or a teacher. Somebody is sitting in the
Yeah.
car going, waiting for their next class to start on the phone. Something.
Yeah.
And isn't that a window? A big ass window behind it? You tell me.
Huge windows.
Yeah, you're
Huge.
telling me someone's just not in the library and just watch some dude fucking crumble and go, holy shit, what just happened?
That's normal. That's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, he always does that.
Positive.
But the reason I shared this is because it doesn't
From the
look like
towel
the
that was
dude.
wrapped
Look at
around
He
that.
either doesn't have a backpack on.
Well, something
doesn't look
swung
like he has a
out. It
backpack.
almost like it could have been a buttstock that swung out.
That was his fucking spine that swung off. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, when
Drop.
he ate like a
His
bag of
anatomy,
shit.
his anatomy shifted when that he
Yeah.
fell off that shit.
No, go back a little. Go back a little to when he's just coming over the edge. Good form. Great
Dude,
form.
that-
Look at that form.
That would snap my fucking ankles.
Yeah, if I saw that, I would be like,
Go a
holy
little
shit,
further.
it's
You'll
Peter
see it come
Parker.
over the white of the. Oh wait, he's having a spaz.
I was
See?
getting attacked.
Wait, going. See it?
Yeah, he
See
swung.
it
He
come up?
swung something over. But
Yeah.
where's the backpack? They never said they found a backpack or something. He walked up the stairwell with the back.
Yeah.
And what did he break it apart for if he was going to put it in a towel?
And you know, if it's sticking out of the backpack, that shit's falling out after that fall. Like he's gonna be picking shit up on the lawn. Fucking no.
You know when I
Maria
realized that
Sepulveda.
this investigation was cooked was when after they caught him and Kash Patel went on national TV. He said the most corniest shit I've ever heard, and he said, "I'll see you in Valhalla, brother." That's when I knew this investigation and whole thing was fucking cooked. Like, oh, this guy wants to be the fucking guy.
That is the gayest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah,
but
dude.
yeah, it has to be up there with gay shit. Patel just came on. He did, and he was so confident when he said that dude's up there looking like he's from the Fire Nation and just saying the dumbest shit on on the planet. Great job.
And then the dude, like the other thing that stunk is the old white dude who's like, "I did it, and they arrested him first. You remember?
Yeah.
Like they're random,
Yeah.
like it's just more stinky
And-
shit.
And that dude was also at the Boston bombing. He also reported 9/11 when it happened. Like, what are the odds that that old dude would be at 3 crazy events in U.S. history? It has to be astronomical.
He's a remote viewing, fucking telepathic, fucking trigger switch. That dude just shows up places, starts shaking, and then shit
All
happens.
the bad shit in history he shows up to.
Yeah.
He's like a time cop. He's supposed
Hey
to
guys,
stop the
it's
bad
me.
shit.
It's me again.
When he shows up, people go, "Oh shit," because bad shit's getting ready to fucking happen. Holy
That's what
shit,
people
it's
say.
him, and then just something blows up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen conspiracy theories about like crisis actors and stuff. And
He is a time traveler.
when you see
like
shit like
time.
that, I mean, it's hard to not at least consider it when you're talking about somebody who's at 3 of the most major crises that we've seen or incidents. Charlie Kirk assassination was a crisis incidents that we've seen in the last 25 years.
It's just like I said, the synchronicities are sometimes too much. Like how I understand coincidence, and I understand like I've ran into people I know in the craziest like across the world and been like, shit. So like I understand to an extent it's a small world and there is such thing as coincidences, but like I didn't know that about that dude. Like
Yeah.
all those events, like okay, man, you need to chill out a little bit.
What do you guys, I'm sure you've seen them. What do you guys think about the text messages between the shooter and his tranny boyfriend that seemed like they're old English?
From what
my
I
love.
remember, yeah, it was the same CIA handler that carved those bullets.
By the way, here's my thing. Anytime something like this happens, like press storms these people.
Yeah.
They storm them, ambush them at their house. They're interviewing the parents, or at least trying to get interviewed. Whether they say something or not is a different story. But they're ambushing them everywhere. There's never been
Yep.
an interview with the parents. Never been an interview with this fucking trans furry lover. Like, how?
Still has it. You know, you'd think someone would hold on to it. One of the smaller, you know, media outlets would be like, "Hey, listen, now's our chance." But they probably realized the dude was a 58-year-old CIA handler, and he never
You
actually
wanna
met
hear-
him. He was just go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you want to hear what Grok says the odds of you being at 9/11, the Boston bombing, and Charlie Kirk shooting?
1 in 150 million.
Not even close. Mac, you got to guess?
I don't.
1 in 90 trillion.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I promise that.
I wouldn't have either.
He's
I
a
wouldn't have
time
guessed that at
traveler.
all.
That's right. Stuart said it in chat.
So we're just assuming 100% he's a real life Terminator. It's got to be. He's just not a killer. He's
Sure.
he's just a dude that just shows up at these periods of time.
He is AI. Let's see it. What do you got? What do you got?
But I don't know. The text messages always seemed off to me. Like
The-
that's
'cause
not,
I remember them briefly. I don't remember much of them anymore, but like you said, it's, oh, ye lover, I shall meet you on the dawn of morrow.
Here's
That was
That-
way off.
that was just awful. If they were talking like that, they need to be locked the fuck up. Rather for the assassination or not. They need to go to fucking jail. But my thought on it is it's just too in line with everything else in the assassination. Or everything else in them. It makes no sense that nothing adds up with the assassination, but everything adds up with the person. He's just the classic, this guy. The text messages are perfect. His background, perfect. He's complete opposite from the agenda of the administration and Charlie Kirk's message. Everything about him adds up, but nothing adds up about the assassination. The text messages are just they seem too pitch perfect, too this is exactly what you would expect to hear between this. That doesn't make sense. And
they're perfectly incriminating.
Yeah, yes, 100%. You know what I mean? That's like somebody saying, "Did you just kill Charlie Kirk?" Yeah, I did. Oh, that's a rap, boys. We got it. We got his ass. There's no. If he was, here's the thing. This is why it doesn't add up to me. If he wanted to be incognito, right? Because the text messages are incognito, encrypted, this and that. If he was okay with being caught, if he was like that, why would he run from the roof? Anybody that's just, open about getting caught or just yeah, I killed him, or just being that blunt about it, because he has to know he wasn't exactly a dummy. He would have to know text messages would be the first place that they would look. I wouldn't dare. I would say, if I was planning something like that, anybody I'm talking to or planning it with, I'm talking to in person. I'm not texting. I'm not talking over the phone. I'm not doing video. That's just obvious. And he has to know it's true, because why hide the gun in your pants leg? Why have a backpack? Why run? Why jump and then hide and ditch your clothes? You're not going to be that secretive and that evasive and then turn around right behind and act like, yeah, if it just, that's what I mean. Nothing about the investigation adds up, but everything about the shooter adds up. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Devin
I agree.
that the texts were a huge flag as well.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to play both sides, which you can't do. Either the dude was fully committed to carrying this out, which if that's the case, then how many times do we see people do these things? Never. If they're committed to dying for the cause, they don't live. And everybody else at that event also had the same views Charlie Kirk, so why didn't he just keep shooting? And then, just coincidentally, there's these, and he's smart enough to grab the bullet, smart enough to grab the bullet, but then he's dumb enough to send text messages saying, "Oh,
You
yeah,
never
I just
watched
shot
Enemy at the
Charlie
Gates.
Kirk." What are you talking about? I don't know. And then there was also the Discord chats, which I've never heard of anybody else getting arrested in connection with this. But there's Discord chats, there's people posting on X alluding to there being something happening at UVU to Charlie Kirk the day before.
Oh, Schmidt, if you're still listening, erase the Discord now. Sorry, I just had to put that in there.
Pulling up the Discord now. All right.
I remember hearing it briefly. Yeah.
All right. Talk for a second while I pull it up.
Yeah, I know. Beep boop, beep boop.
The hardest, well, not the hardest, but one of the hardest parts with since we're talking about the person, the text messages, the discords, and this and that. I don't know that all that again, I don't think no one really knows except for the people that really knew him. But I'm curious as to his character as a person and how much that taps in to the attempt, because the rap he gets, you don't really hear from him. You hear from everyone that investigates it or investigative journalism, and it's always the same thing. Oh, he was kind of quiet, he was kind of a loner, and he was a good dude, and then he turned out to be a bad dude. His parents raised him right, and he was great, and then he changed. But like, how much of his character, adds into everything? Because I do think even if he was on meds, I think that plays an important part as his current character. No one just switches the script like
Well,
even on
that's the thing.
meds.
That's the thing Jordan said. Like, he was running around, wearing grunt style T-shirts and doing this and that, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to finger pop a furry. Like that.
I mean,
that's a little weird to me.
I mean, if that fox got a fat old ass,
What if it's a dude ass?
I said, what, a dude fox? You telling me I would finger pop a fox, but I draw the line at a dude fox? If I'm up a fox, it's gonna be a fox.
You just all you said is if the fox has a fat ass. I said if it's a dude fox.
We drawn the line that if it's a dude. What I'm saying is, if it's a fox, it's a fox. You're already weird. You already weird because you've chosen to pop a fox. What does it matter if it's a girl? And no one's gonna be like, well, he's finger bombing a girl fox, so he's not one of them. It doesn't matter.
Fine, I couldn't find the video. I failed big time. Said, has anyone checked the shooter's bank account? Biggest paid fall guy ever. They're gonna execute him. That money doesn't mean anything. But
no, that's a thing. Did he?
I'm gonna get into real deep conspiracy. Have you guys ever seen? And this is off topic, so I don't want to get too crazy into it. Have you ever seen the picture of the Oklahoma City bomber next to the FBI agent who looks a lot like him?
Yeah, probably.
And there were people who were present at his execution who said he was breathing when they wheeled him out. And there's also weird stuff in that case about how they said he wasn't in the military, but then pictures came out after the investigation, after his execution, of him in a military uniform when he said he got pulled into a special program.
And Schmidt said something else, like the money going to his family, though. But part of me also feels
that's
like,
a good point. Because here's another thing.
Someone who's going to go, like, if I were paid to go kill someone and I knew I was going to get caught or was so blatantly obvious, would I really think my parents would get, or my family, my kids would get any money? I wouldn't. Like,
well, he might not have been in on it.
True. Okay. Yeah.
And they might not have been in on it either.
So more of like hush hush money after the fact.
Right. Like, listen, we're going to take care of you. But anyways, here's what I was talking about. This is the OKC bomber and then an FBI agent who looks.
I know that one's crazy. I've seen it.
When I saw this,
I mean, Schmidt. Keep going.
But I mean, I'm more of a conspiracy theorist than the average person, but I don't think anything's off the book. As far as I know, this dude did do the shooting, and they just fucking hacked his brain, and took control of him. Like that's what I was
gonna say. Do you think if you go on that route of thinking, do you think it's more of a conditioning thing, or is it like sleeper cell, like movie, like they call you on the phone and they're like 6'4", rabbits, sky, crayon, blue, and you're just like, and then you're like, go march over and go shoot someone?
If I had to say what I think happened that day now, it's tough for me to say because I do think that's a capable shot.
Yeah.
I do, but I also think there's more reason for other people to want him dead beside this kid. I don't know. It's tough to say.
For sure.
Could this kid have done it? Sure. If he did do it, do I think he did it alone? No fucking way. It makes no sense that you're telling me, how old was he? 21 or something? A 21-year-old has the capability to show up to a campus same day.
And that's my biggest thing is, like, I can say what you're saying. Could he have shot him? Yes. It's just there's too much stinky shit to line up that it was just that he shot him, that he acted alone, that like there's just too much there to say there wasn't something else at hand.
There is something else at hand.
But that's mainly where my thought is. Like, could he have shot him? Sure.
The thing people, I think, attach to in the general public is when they hear assassination, people generally think one person, acting alone, because I think the majority of people only think of the movies. You know what I mean? No one really knows about the world of assassin. It is, so they fall back on social media or movies and things that they hear. So they think one guy, but no one really thinks about the real work and logistics of
Yeah.
the tactical mindset, so to speak, like we have. You know what I mean? We understand there has to be, if there was a shooter, great. But where did he get his intel from? How did he get to there? How did he get that? How was this corridor perfectly open for him? Did he have a support by fire? But you know what I mean? Did he have eyes? Did he have, like, there's so
Yeah.
much that goes into it that people don't think about. They just hear, oh, he's the shooter. Yeah, he might be the shooter, but the
Yeah.
assassination had more than just one hand in it. Because how did
Yeah.
he know what day? How did he know to get to the roof? How did he know what escape route? How did he kind of know this and that? And then, like I said, same day, it's going to take you could drop me off to any college campus right now and tell me, pick a spot. You have an assassination in 2 hours.
We got him.
I obviously, I don't think I'll be able to do it. 2 hours? You telling me I have to
I wouldn't
plan where to go?
feel comfortable.
I
I
know.
would be like, I
I
want
would be
more
stressed.
intel. Yeah.
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 There's no shot. Even if he got there 3 hours early, you telling me I have to pick a point? And I'm even speaking from a shooting standpoint. Sure, you know your rifle, but I don't know the position that I'm going to be shooting from. I don't really know the position he's going to be at. Is he moving? Is he not moving? How high up am I? What's the
Yep.
difference in the
Yeah.
attitude? Is it windy? And then when I pull this trigger, where the fuck am I going? I'm not just going to
Yeah.
stay up here. Do I have a stairwell? Do I not? Am I going to jump? There is just no way. All this information would have to be handed to me. The only way I could
Yeah.
pull that off in 3-4
If
hours
I'm
if I
tr-
get there.
if I'm trying to escape,
Yes,
that's a
yes,
big
that's a
thing.
big factor. Correct.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Which
even
he
if I'm trying to
was.
pull the shot off,
Yeah. Yeah.
I still need to know, like, how do I know exactly where the stage is going to be? How do I know they're not going to change movements? How do I know he's not going to be moved? I don't. I would feel way more comfortable pulling off if I showed up and the guy was like, hey, the stage is going to be here. He's going to be sitting down. He's not. Go to the 4th floor. The key's already there. Whatever. Go on the roof, this and that. When you
This
pull
is
the
your
trigger,
yardage. This is
yeah,
where you're shooting
then I'd be
at.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, I got it. And now where do I go after I shoot? Book it left. There's a rooftop. Drop down there. Like, all these things I would have to know. Then I'd be like, okay, maybe I can pull this off. But I'm not showing up same day any college campus, and I'm gonna be like, how the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what that would be like.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, that. But then I'm like, damn, I can't see shit because of the trees. Or damn, just build it. Like, there's just no way. More than one
And that-
hand
and
was put into it.
And that's something else
I was
to
gonna
think of. Like, you said he's never been there before that day. Like, if the stage was already set up and I could walk down to the stage and look up, then it's much different. I can walk even close to the middle of the stage in front of it and look over my shoulder and then look and say, there's my line of sight. There's this, there's that. Like, 4 hours. Now, people do extraordinary things under pressure, and we cannot deny that. But
Yeah, I don't disagree at
it
all.
just seems, and sometimes, like, there is just shit doesn't go right. I mean, you guys were breaking down, the shot at Trump, like how people just, and when it comes down to it, people, and it happens in any aspect of training and whether being a soldier, a firefighter, an NFL player, you get trained, and then in the moment, bam, oh shit, you know what I mean? You get that actually there in the high stress moment, shit changes, and that's for one, the shooter, but two, also the people responding is where, like,
I don't know.
I want to play devil's
I would
advocate real here.
agree and disagree. I'll let Jordan play devil. I would agree or disagree because I would say it depends on the magnitude of the response. I would expect a local city cop to respond that way. But what I'm saying is the magnitude of, let's say, actual Secret Service, just to even make it to that.
no, yeah, I was just using it as an example. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I understand there's no excuse for Secret Service, but we're talking about Charlie Kirk. And we're talking about campus police.
Okay,
Who are probably there.
yes,
City police, municipality, and campus
yes,
His
police.
own
I agree with that.
security.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was
Devil's
just
advocate?
gonna play. Yeah, I was gonna play devil's advocate here. A normal person wouldn't be thinking about none of that stuff.
No. Yes, of course we do in approaching it now also from the outside. But yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And that's where,
Like,
kind of where I was
you guys
saying.
are right. Like, that's what I was saying when we first started. Like, if I was to do this, no fucking shot. I'm abandoning it. I'm not doing this. You're telling me I got 4 hours. I gotta find a place to shoot. I gotta find a way out of there. I don't know where security is gonna be. No way I'm doing this. But as
And I
ignorant
don't get a
21 year
suppressor. Like,
Yeah, I got a loud 30-06. Bah!
this
That
is the best we can
motherfucker's
give
right
you.
there.
I'll be
Yeah.
like, nope,
Yeah.
sorry, can't do
Yeah,
it.
they gave him an unsuppressed blunderbuss with like
Yeah.
absolutely has instant making the shot. I'm not shooting this.
No.
Ah. Mm-mm.
But going into
It's
that,
all, and that's, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, going into what we're talking about him having help. Here's Joe Kent. I don't know if you've been following the Joe Kent story or not, but he just left because of the Iran war, saying he doesn't support it. We're doing Israel's bidding. And now everybody's trying to call him a white supremacist. But he went on the Tucker Carlson show and he said that we had leads to investigate for the Charlie Kirk assassination, like international leads and whatnot to investigate, and we were shut down. So I'll let him speak because he's probably way.
The Charlie Kirk investigation is that, look, there's Tyler Robinson. His fingerprints are on the gun. It appears that there's a solid case against him. However, there was people posting online before Charlie was even killed that Charlie was going to be killed that day at that location. So there's obviously people who had prior knowledge. There's the guy who jumped up in the crowd and immediately said, like, I'm the one who took the shot, and then later on he said he was doing that to create a diversion. So I've always said, hey, we have a lot of investigatory work to do here. Charlie Kirk was a national figure. He was an international figure. There's a lot of links that we need to look at. And then very similar to what had taken place in Butler, was told to stop. Don't investigate further. Now the FBI has come back out and said, hey, you didn't have the authority to do that. That's why you weren't.
And I think what he just said about the Butler thing, that kind of goes into your point, what you were saying last. There's something off about that, whether it was a setup or not. But the fact that you're going to tell us the Secret Service, and I don't want to get too far into it, but you're going to tell us the Secret Service is inadequate and all this stuff, and then you're going to stop the dude who wants to investigate it, who you brought on.
Included in the investigation, NCTC does look at foreign ties to domestic acts of terrorism, to include assassinations. So we did have purview, and we can have the turf fight all day long. Is that the FBI's? Is that NCTC's? But at the end of the day, there's potential foreign ties that I really can't get into, that I don't believe, from my opinion, from my vantage point, that we're not completely ran down in terms of an investigation. Now, does that mean there's something there? Does that mean that there's evidence of a foreign government or foreign person? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the investigation from where I was at NCTC was incomplete.
I don't know. Like you said, it could have been nothing, but the fact is they weren't even allowed to investigate it. And he's not. He's not some
that would
civilian who got put in that position.
That would raise a lot of red flags to me. The second someone said, nope, stop. Like, why?
But he does. Oh, go ahead, Mac. Sorry.
Nope, you got it. It's locked.
No, I was going to say, and that's one thing I've come to notice, listen to a lot of these agency people talk, is like the politics in these agencies. It's like, no, it's our investigation. We've got it. Hands off. Like,
no, for sure.
What are we talking about? This dude's an ex-CIA agent. His wife was an ex-CIA agent. Like, if he thinks there's something to investigate, and all the other person we have is Kash Patel, why are we listening to Kash Patel over this guy?
Yes. Yeah. But I think it was kind of a subject line of the last time we had talked.
No, is that
Break
me
it up,
or
Mac. That's Mac.
He's going to say something important again.
I know. We'll just have to wait for him to come back.
Imagine if he, the camera cuts back in and he has a black bag over his head and he's getting pulled away.
It's just Kash Patel with a flintlock pistol.
Can y'all hear me?
Shit, I gotta go.
Can y'all hear me now?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, we got you.
I could hear. It took me, if I had a little more time, I heard you guys fucking talking the whole time. I was gonna stand on my chair like my feet were dangling, and then and when it came back, but I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough time for that shit. But I was gonna say I think as a whole, everything seems like there was a plan to have. Like everything was a little bit too planned in a sense. And one of the things, I'm sure we'll probably get into it either the next one or if we have time on this one, but the reaction, the thing that almost stunk the most wasn't even the assassination as much as it was the actions after the assassination.
Yeah.
That's what made it stink the most. And then we're listening to Patel instead of whoever. That seems to be the norm for this current administration and as a whole. We're listening to people, and there's people that actually we don't have a choice but to listen to them. But there's people in positions that have no fucking business being in these positions. And unfortunately, when you have the idiot in the office of power, the idiot is the guy with the answers. It's like, well, the head of, the FBI said, yeah, but he's an idiot. But the fact that he's head of the FBI, they're like, everybody, well, the head of the FBI said it. Yeah, but he's a window licker. So why are we looking at the person and not
These
necessarily
schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yeah, like he has no business being there. And that
Yeah.
seems to be the part people are getting these positions, like we were talking on the last one, high ranking generals getting fired and leaving, and then people that align with the MAGA or whatever are put in positions. People and other
Hegseth just fired the highest.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. You're trying to start a fucking war, and we're getting rid of people that know how to fight wars.
Yeah.
I want the general that's been in the army for fucking 45 years. Give me that dude, not the dude that just like, well, he aligns. If you had a hard charge, and let's just say Big Homie Twan was general, right? And he's like, hey, we're about to go fuck. I know
Walking
people that are
around with his
listening.
dick out.
Yeah, doesn't know who Big Homie Twan is.
Are
but
you
that's
talking
a
about
real,
Dunmire?
Yes.
Hey, we don't use government names.
Okay. I just want to say I looked it up. Do you guys know what he's in charge of right now?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Look it up.
Yeah, but I'm not
You
going
can
to.
tell.
We're not going to dox.
Tell me
We're not going to
offline.
dox the
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Homie Twan. The three of us know I'm following that motherfucker to battle. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care who we're fighting. I don't care what we have.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can give me
only
a
dude
stick
to ever
and
give a
blunderbuss.
motivational speech that motivated me.
Yeah, I'd follow him to battle any day. I don't give a shit if I had one. If they told me right now, hey, you're drafted for that round, I'd be pissed. But they'd be like, but you're going in Big Homie Twan's unit. I'm like, fuck it. Give me that shit. Give me. You can make me a private, and I'll still be like, fuck it.
All right, you guys want to watch this video?
Yeah.
I want to play this.
Said,
and then
we're
I'll
watching two of the same videos next to each other, and that shit.
This computer can't handle this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's going on?
Is it messed up for you too?
Yeah. Ah!
I just, dude, the
yeah,
fact.
it's not working for me.
Did you
but
see
that video kills me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can y'all
I
hear?
don't know.
We lost the host.
Okay, but we're still live, which is good. That's just ridiculous, though. It is so on point. And what he was gonna get to is that she came out, I think, and went after even like Elon, and was like, "You need to pull this down." And Elon's like, "No."
Yeah. Who are you and why?
Yeah, it was just and because of that video Drewski made was like seeing again the videos going back to her in her fucking eyes, man. The fucking like that's some freaky ass shit.
And that's what I was saving for after this when I was talking about how it was treated.
Yeah, that was lagging for everyone, Jordan. He had internet issues.
Yeah, I must have
Why-
had some crazy issues. Sorry.
Yeah, it happened blurry, and then you went away. You went into the netherworld.
The realm. Cash is at your house now. Go ahead, Ty.
Like and this is what I mean by he was like his death was an agenda push, rather by accident or on purpose. And I say accident on purpose because I say it was a conspiracy theory and they had a hand in it. It was on purpose. Let's just say he did for what it is. The kid assassinated him, and it just happened the way it is, and they they capitalized on that. Basically, that's how they were. No doubt whatsoever, his death was used as capitalization. What I don't
Yeah.
understand for
So
her is immediately after that, she didn't really seem like a grieving mom. Now, maybe behind closed doors, sure, but there is plenty of people of
yeah.
high profile spouses that have a person not assassinated but die unexpectedly, whatever, and they take the time to grieve, and then they come out sometime later and they come out and, hey, thanks for the support, this and that. Here she is, not long after, hugged up with Trump like they were the bestest of friends, like the daughter to
And
mom or
old
some
JD
weird
Vance,
thing.
fucking lizard man.
Old JD, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she gets appointed to the Air Force Academy's a board of like vision. And I was like, I looked into it and I was like, what is that? And it's not important, but it's too important for her ass. She has no fucking say or business in it. And what
That
do
was
we
just I agree. The whole thing was, and even if everything was completely legit, right? Even if he was assassinated by a lone gunman and everything, what she did was weird as fuck. Like, was a power grab. She fucking jumped on the head of TPUSA, whatever. And for me, like, if I was involved in that, even with but maybe with one of you guys, I'd be like, yeah, like I'll take over. But like, if it were someone like my brother, or there is like, I love you guys, you know that, but like, for you, I'd want to do it for a friend. But like, if my wife or something, I'd be like, well, I kind of want to take a step back
yes.
here,
Yeah.
not just jump in and be like, and there's voice recordings of her. We made this much money, guys. Good job. We did
Yeah.
this. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, that's
Yeah.
so weird. And given people are weird, people who come from money, they're just different, and not always to the fault of their own. Like, you would think you have the moral grounds to be like, this isn't right.
Her
It's just,
reaction was just
again,
off.
it's all to the it's all to the stinkiness of it. It's just all just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. I mean,
that's
from
one of
It
the
is a power vacuum. True.
Jordan.
what
You're
I was
up.
going to say, sorry, is her reaction was just so weird. From filming the casket and her touching his hand, you don't do that. Like, I've been to plenty of funerals. Never once have I
Not
seen
real
somebody
grief.
film a cat. No. And then
Yeah, I'd
what
be like,
real
get the fucking cameras off, because I'd be upset.
yeah, and what really
Go.
threw me off was
shit.
the fireworks. They had that huge event, and everything just seemed like a political rally. Just fireworks going off, all this stuff. Like, what are we doing here? Are we mourning the dude, or are we trying to sell T-shirts? Like,
And
Sell
that was the thing.
t-shirts.
Afterwards, that was the recording that it came from. She was like, we did so good. We sold all this. We did all this. And it's like, what?
Yep.
And that's what Schmidt said, the power vacuum. And, that's possibly why she married Charlie Kirk. And that could lead into the conspiracy that, like the one I'd heard, that he down the line was potentially a presidential candidate. And like, it's all this stuff. And it's just like, her father wrote textbooks, or was the owner of the company who writes textbooks for all of our kids.
Yep.
Like,
And she was a
it's just
Trump
weird.
beauty
It's just
pageant.
weird.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at the point to where, like, I wonder if she wasn't kind of like his handler. Like, hey, here's this beautiful woman,
Handler, yeah.
Like,
It
I don't
kind of it makes sense, especially yeah, when you look at it as a whole. Let's say that video, which I find hilarious, but she kind of set herself up for it, because you don't act like that after your spouse has been publicly assassinated in the sense, like, it was back, like, that was awful. And from my understanding,
Yeah.
she was there. So you don't see your significant other take a round to the throat and then all that shit. And then even a month later, you're just like, hey, you're hugging people. If I saw my significant
Yeah.
other get fucking
You're up there,
blasted in the throat, I'll be fucked for
Yeah.
months. Don't
Yeah.
talk to me. Don't hug me. I'm not going
Well,
in front of a
she wasn't
camera.
actually there, right? Didn't she stay behind?
I don't think
With
she
the
was
kids?
there.
Maybe she did.
I don't remember.
But anyways,
Maybe-
going back
maybe
to
you're
Mac's
right.
Or there
point,
was another thing that they were talking about, was the assistant. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
going back to Mac's point, not only was she hugging another
don't act
dude,
like
she
that.
was standing on his casket,
No, you
hugging JD Vance.
What? I didn't catch that part. That's wild to me. That's fucking crazy.
I actually
to
forgot
me.
about. Forgot.
That's
Yeah.
And that's what it almost leads you into, like, is there symbolism there? Like, is there
Yes,
some
there's
kind of
symbolism
like
there. Everything.
weird shit there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
can
Like
see
that's
where they think it's like, well, other people don't really see it, but we have these weird brains where I can 100% see in their head, they're like, hey, on Charlie Kirk's shoulders, we go forward. They're like, he's buried or dead. And we're like some weird shit that they thought was the coolest thing ever.
ritualistic shit.
Something
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
Yeah. And doing shit like that, you don't think that comedians are going to go up on that? The way you were acting after your husband's assassination opened the door for shit like that. Because you weren't acting like, if you were grieving like a wife that just lost a husband in a crazy assassination would be acting appropriately, no one would have fucked with you because no one would have, either people would have respected it or they would have nothing on you. Because how do you make fun of someone grieving or being private? You don't.
Yeah.
But a motherfucker coming out like it's the 4th of July, like it's Independence Day again, and then standing on gaskets and then
Yeah.
hugging this and that. Yeah, you open yourself up for fucking comedians to tag that ass up.
It's almost like what did you expect?
Yeah.
What did you expect?
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And now all of a sudden, with I think it was yesterday or the day before, where we're talking about like she's the Trump's train and her Kirk's handler and stuff like that. She's now begging Trump to sue the comedian, which is a Trump move through and through. Like, just sue his ass.
100%.
Shut the fuck. Sue for what? It's for you did it. All the shit
Yeah.
he's making fun of, you literally did. So
Yeah.
what are you bad at?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can never sue that because okay, you're depicting me, and he could be like, no, it was just a character I made.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's what
That's
he
not you.
said. But my thing is,
I
how
mean,
you gonna
Yeah.
how you gonna come out here and be like, I forgive the shooter, but then when Drewski makes a video, you're gonna talk about suing him and all this stuff. Like, I don't know, that just doesn't make sense to me. Her reaction is crazy. Like, if Charlie Kirk is a
I think she's a
ghost,
lizard person too.
well, there's definitely something odd about her. I don't know if you guys have seen the stuff about her charity in Romania and the kids, them reporting the charity for abducting kids and stuff. There's a bunch of weird shit about Eric Kirk. I'm not too sure about it all, but her reaction doesn't make sense to a widow who just saw her husband. Like, the videos were out there for everybody. You for sure saw your husband get shot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
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 The filters on Instagram did not work.
No, absolutely.
No,
And that's another
like,
thing
it's
that's
just-
odd too, is why I
Yeah,
get
that
it.
they allow it. Yeah.
You can't cover it up, but that thing wasn't even hard to find. I don't know if you guys remember when that shooting happened in Australia where that guy went into they shut that video down immediately. You can't find it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was up. It is still up. Everybody
Yep.
saw it. I bet you it has more views than people on the earth. Like, I bet you it does.
Dude, it was, and you couldn't avoid it. On
No.
that day and the few days after, like on Instagram, there it is again. There it is again. And nowadays, a tie shows, a butthole and it's gone immediately. Like,
Well, maybe
it
not
won't
immediate.
last more than 30 seconds on there.
I think that
it
goes
would.
to the
I
ritual
think
thing
40,
too.
50 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Where everyone has to experience it. And like, it's, yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
blurry to y'all?
It's, yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm getting close to the truth again. I should just do this shit and be like, yes, I know Charlie
It fixed it. It fixed it.
fix
did fix. There we go. See that?
Maybe we can kind of end with this. If you had to guess, your best educated guess, I don't know isn't an answer. What do you think happened?
My best guess on the assassination.
Yes.
I think it was I'm not going to go super in depth. Do I think he could have shot him? Yes. I think more so what I'm saying is it was the rifle used. He didn't actually shoot him with that rifle. It was a shot taken from elsewhere. The rifle was planted and he was part of this all along and it was just all to an extent set up to further some of it I don't even want to say, but further
Just say
Trump's
it. Just say it.
popularity and
Pop.
all that, like steam moving forward. It was it was after the fact, but I think it was more to just continue to try to herd people in that direction. I think there's a lot of other aspects to it. I could be missing, but if I were to very surface level generalize it, I don't think the rifle was broken apart. I don't think it was put back together. I think that's why the round was still in it. The round was shot, kept in the rifle, was now taken off, was put, and then everything else got put into play. The kid was part of it, but he was meant to be part of it. Paid actor. We're all hurting people over this direction.
Okay. I'll go next because Mac's probably going to give the most logical answer. I think Candace Owens is right about everything. I don't even think that gun was shot. I think he was there that day. I think the gun was planted. He was just the fall guy. I think he was probably assassinated. I don't know by who, but the reason he was assassinated is because he's been talking about in a negative light about Israel. And you're not going to take millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from those people and then flip sides. They're going to kill you. So I don't know who shot him, but I don't think that kid shot him. I don't think that gun shot him because I don't think his head would be very attached if it did. But that's kind of where I'm at. That's all the details I have. I can't really make anything out about that. There's also weird stuff about a flight leaving that airport when it was supposed to be shut down like an hour after it happened. I think it was a hit job. Don't know who shot him, but I think that's why he was shot.
Look, he was going to say the truth. Oh, no, he's
yeah,
back.
they shut it. They were trying to shut him down
again. Yeah. All right.
Can you see me? Yeah, am I back? You see me talking, there's just a 9mm that comes out of fucking nowhere.
I'd throw this computer through the wall.
They're wrong. If the gun actually says U.S. government on it, it's engraved. If you're reading this, you're gay. It's the guy. It's the guy. I think it was a mix of, I think what both of you are saying, but I also think it was, for the reason, I do think the kid had a part in it. Maybe he was the shooter. I think maybe he could be the shooter. What I don't think is the gun that they had, the reason they can't match anything is because it wasn't that gun. Maybe the gun that he did have, one that he slung and had, actually made it out. The gun that they found was the planted gun. That's the gun that they found that was, oh, we found it. But the real gun, because we all know that round is fucking up every soft tissue bone. Even your clavicle is getting tore the fuck up from that round. You're not just gonna sling back and it's gonna be bad. So if he was the shooter, and I think it's possible, I think he was fed information. I think he was burned, so to speak. Hey, make this shot, we'll take care of you, whatever. And then he took the shot and shit didn't go the way he thought. You gotta have a fall guy. Why not lie to him? Let's not pretend like the government ain't gonna set a motherfucker up. You know what I mean? Especially even our best administrations set motherfuckers up. This one, it don't matter who. Anyway, he's the shooter. Still, the gun that was used was not found or went away. The gun that they're trying to match and says it doesn't match, it's because it wasn't the gun that took the shot. The gun that did take the shot made it out of there when old boy escaped and made it to wherever the fuck it made it to. That's why shit isn't adding up with the guns, because it wasn't the gun that made the shot. It actually made it off scene with whoever. I don't think he acted alone, because it, based on him, is the mindset and just the bare logistics and the locality of it. There's no way somebody's coming same day and making a successful assassination like that and then dip it. You have to have a hand in it. At least people that know the area or knew the locate or was involved in the setup, as far as this is where the sage is at, this is this is that, this is that. The bare minimum needed to be. Do people do amazing things? They do. But most people that do amazing things either have a history of knowing how to do amazing things or work with people that have the knowledge to know how to do amazing things. You know what I mean? Like, you're not it's just, it has to make sense for the person and for a human. Like, you have to work. Let's say this dude, his dad was a fucking operator. His uncle was this and that. And he just lived, around his people, but he never served. He probably could pull off amazing things because we learn from shit like that. But let's just say he was from a 2-mom household and he was watching you. I know Charlie Kirk. Did it?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah. So, he come from a 2-mom household and played, rainbow ponies and shit like that. Could that guy pull off some amazing shit? Yeah, but I mean, it would have to be
unlikely.
Very unlikely. So I think for him to pull that off, he definitely had help. Even if he is a shooter, which I do think, the fact you're not going to fake fear. When that boy jumped off that fucking roof, that was true fear. I think he did make the shot, and desperation made him jump off that fucking roof because he had the real gun. But little did he know, and may not have known, they were going to fucking plant one anyway. And that's why shit doesn't match anyway. He really pulled the shot off, and desperation made that boy jump off that fucking roof in broad daylight, in front of a big ass window, in front of, you're not going to fake fear. I don't give a shit who you are. And he was
in front of a dude just walking, minding his own business.
Yes, you make that assessment, and you're already scared. He's like, oh fuck, where's the police people? No, you don't jump in a place like an open field in front of a window in a parking lot in front of people walking unless you are really fucking desperate and scared. And that showed real desperation and fear. Because if he knew there was a chance he could get out of it, he would just wait. He'd be like, oh fuck, I'm just gonna wait because I have a way out of it. I don't think he saw he had a way out of it because he had the real weapon on him. But he didn't know, again, they were going to find that weapon. Makes no sense. The weapon that they say shot him makes 0 sense to the assassination. 0 sense because they already had it. And they were like, well, it's taken apart. All that was done prior to the assassination even happening. That shit was done. It was already a plan. And that's my opinion. I think it was a mix of reality and he had help. I don't think he was acting alone, but I do.
What's your thoughts on why? What was
why he would assassinate him?
Yeah, what was the motivation?
I think the motivation for why he would assassinate him came from an idealist, and this is probably diving into the deep end.
So you think but I'm saying, like, do you think there is a bigger picture to why Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. There is. I don't think that boy necessarily, I think he was a grand opportunity, a target of opportunity. I think it was already a plan to try to get him. And all they needed was the perfect guy. And when they found a perfect guy, because let's not pretend like the government don't have, their hand in access of like, knowing people, this and that. I think he was approached with it and just kind of, snakes in the ear, like, hey, this and that. And then come to find out it's possible. And he's like, hell yeah. Because he doesn't present himself like that kind of person. Was he odd? Yeah, sure. But not really. He wasn't like the plant that they had for Trump's assassination. That dude, like I say, he looked like a sperm with legs. Like he just stayed a nut and grew fucking appendages. That's it. And this, I'm sorry, I fucked myself up. And then this guy, he was weird, but not alone. Like, I'm not saying that it's not possible that his type can't do it, but it just doesn't add up. Like, I'm a firm believer and crazy shit does happen, but it has to make sense too. Like, everything just can't just not make sense. There has to be a plausible way for this and that. And I do think he hated Kirk, but I don't think his assassination attempt was his own mind. I think that was snakes in the ear, and then the same snakes in the ear kind of provided breadcrumbs to like, hey, you could do it this way. Just so you know, he has this happening on this day. If you go to this, the same snakes in the ear was the ones that were just kind of feeding him that bread trail and provided him a great opportunity. And he was just dumb enough, or maybe not smart enough, really, I guess I should say, to realize this is going too well. This is too perfect. Like, this is what's going on. Pulls the trigger and realizes motherfucker. It's too late. He realized he's burned. I think he could have made he was shooting. He had a background in shooting. He had a background kind of in hunting, and he could figure. And 200 yards with practice. We don't know if he was going to the range. We don't know if he was going to families, property and practicing. And he may have 200 yards is not that hard of a fucking shot with a scoped optic and a long rifle. It's not that
iron sights. It's on an M.
Yeah. It's not that hard, especially to a motherfucker that has a motivation and knows what he wants to do with it. Like, it's not that difficult. People that aren't distance and gun savvy would be like, 200 yards? Holy shit. People that shoot at 200 yards with a scoped optic, you might as well shoot that motherfucker point blank.
Except for my friend Vanis. He can't hit a coyote at 100 yards with a 6 times.
That's why the breadcrumbs will never go to him. They will never choose him for the breadcrumbs.
It's funny. I'm hoping he sees this just for me to talk shit too.
But that's my opinion. I think the bigger picture came from elsewhere. I think he did have something against Charlie Kirk, but I don't think the bigger picture was his mind, because who takes the time, especially on bullets, to engrave their rounds first of all?
So the powers that be, basically, to get to it, whatever, eventually they knew they had to wipe Charlie Kirk out. They found a target of someone who hated him,
Why not?
fed him on, and said, "Okay, it works." And
Yep.
yeah,
Dark
okay,
thoughts,
okay,
dark pasture. Why not? It makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Who
yeah,
takes the time to engrave rounds? And let's say he did have engraved rounds. You telling me the motherfucker that engraves this shit didn't think about who's getting bullets that says if you read this, you're gay? Like, like no one like that would have came out. You know what I mean? A minute ago, and even a shipping address or something. He didn't engrave it
yeah.
himself. A
And
name,
then,
something. Go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, and then if you engrave the bullets, that would imply that you have the intention of them getting found. In the text messages with him and the
Yes.
lover, he had the intentions of
Yes.
getting the
It's
gun.
too obvious.
You're right, Schmidt. I agree.
What'd Schmidt say? My chat's messed up.
Well,
Yes.
Schmidt said at 200 yards, there is no need for any windage or elevation for almost any long action caliber.
Not
Oh.
at all. And
Yeah.
that looking when I heard that, it was the same shit. I kept going back to when I was in that marksmanship school and we were learning distance and it from iron sights, a scoped optic to this and that. Schmidt's absolutely right. For a 200-yard
Yeah.
shot, I can do that with fucking iron sight or even
Or
a
even
fucking
like
red dot
an
without even.
yeah, an M4 zeroed at 150.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
You add another 50 yards, bruh. I can
Yeah.
hit. You're shooting 300 meters with iron sights anyway.
yeah,
So, and that's what there's just no way. He definitely had help. And I'm going to say he is a shooter. I'm just going to say he just didn't understand what he was in, but the real weapon system never made it. When he jumped off that roof, he had the real weapon system.
He was manipulated.
Yep, I think so. Because Charlie Kirk, I don't know
Yeah,
about
I
the
mean,
bigger
yeah.
picture about pushing the agenda part, but I do think I don't know if the powers that be wanted Charlie Kirk out like that, but I do think they saw Charlie Kirk as a good target to push forward. Because you can't take, like I said, you can't take Trump out because you need Trump to move forward. You need that. You take Trump out, the whole thing kind of falls flat because he's their messiah, right? That's the messiah for the movement, for the without Trump, there is no MAGA. You need that is the message. But the next best thing was 100. I would dare to say there was probably no other person better to assassinate than Kirk to push the movement forward. Who else would you take out besides the vice president? Who else? Nobody.
Nobody.
He was the perfect choice. Nobody. He was the perfect choice.
A perfect choice to send a message and not go too far.
Correct. And then
Yep.
Yeah.
you get everybody that was fence lined or in the movement. Now they're no longer fence lined. They're all about it. We're selling T-shirts. We're pushing the movement. Hey, they tried to
Yeah.
take out Trump at the trans, this and that, and that shit blew up. We're putting flags at half mast for someone that's not even a government figure. We're pushing this and that. It made absolute sense. So I think it was a political move, 100%. I do think he was a shooter. I do think he got away with the actual weapon system. And whoever got him or whatever took that weapon system and just whatever the case may be, and they already had a plan to one ready to go because that motherfucker doesn't match anything. Of course it does, because it didn't make the shot. The type of round analysis, of course it doesn't make sense because it wasn't a 30. Like it just that wasn't the weapon used. It was the weapon they needed to put on the news to kind of push this. That's what it was.
Yeah, I can agree with all of them. That's the thing. And at the end of the day, we could probably pull on, 20 other like-minded people like us, and they could all have a slightly different input to it. And I could still believe that more than the narrative that is being told to us. It's still,
Yes.
it could be like, yep, that makes sense. Yep, that makes sense. But, and the only thing I wanted to say with like my defense is a lot of people are tending to forget that if there was this much put into this, right? Yes, if that was a hand-packed round, they could shoot it into his neck being a 30-06 and have it stop. It could be a way undercharged round, moving with a lot less ass, and you know what I mean? Like there's hand-packed rounds. You have, as long as you don't chimney it, you have an option of whatever FPS you really can do without getting it lodged in the barrel. So there is, if you think of it that way, and I think maybe more yours is more logical, Mac, than mine. But that's what I've been thinking the whole time was like, okay, if it was the gun, a 30-06 has been around for fucking ever. Just a bad round, wet and just fucking, and Jordan kind of shut me down on one of my original thoughts on that. It was where, he was aiming at the head and it was a bad round and it fell into his neck. But then after Jordan, and I remember seeing it, he went down and came up. So it's more, it's just an option.
Also, to your, it's not to your point, I guess it would almost be against it. This is why I would think that a bad round would be less likely to. If he had the time and took out, and let's say it's the theory that they're pushing.
1 second. Just let me respond to Schmidt. Schmidt, just today, yesterday, they came out and said that through one of the testing that the bullet isn't matching the gun. From whatever, that's what we weren't 100% locked down on, is
From
from
the
one of the
ATF.
bullet fragments that it did not match the gun. The ATF tested it, and it's, or unlikely, or whatever you said it. Jordan knows the verbiage of what they came out and said, that
They said
it's
it
not
was
conclusive
inconclusive.
that the
Yep.
bullet came from that gun. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Mac. I just want to,
Yeah, I get that. Let's say we're going with a bad round. This is why I think a bad round will be less likely. The fact that they found the other rounds, that they said that the rounds were engraved, which means they were brand new probably brand new rounds, top of the line, not very old rounds, because they were just engraved. Like, in order to engrave rounds, the round itself can't really be old. Like, it could be, but not really, especially ones that you're shooting. They're probably not very old rounds or wet rounds, because they have to be of a certain quality in order to even be engraved and go out. They're probably, freshly bought rounds. Honestly, he just bought rounds and said, I want them engraved.
No, I understand. Or hand packed.
Yeah, or
I'm just
hand
being
packed.
ridiculous. Yeah, I'm just being ridiculous at that point. At this
The
point,
thing with the hand packed is then that's another skill we have to assume that this young man had, was reloading ammunition.
yeah. No, I know it. And more so when I hear it, it kind of becomes more far-fetched. It's just, I don't like to say, like they say, sometimes the truth is wilder than fiction.
Right.
Like, who's
Sure.
not to say that this is much deeper, and but more that I say it sounds more ridiculous, but I'm going to use a 30-06 to make it seem out there,
Right.
like if we're going real deep conspiracy, to make it seem out there that it should have blown through your neck, but they were running, some crazy low PSI, and it not PSI or whatever. Yeah. And chamber PSI, but whatever, FPS, meters per second, just to throw it all off. Probably not the case. I understand that more and more that I hear you guys talking, but yeah, sorry. That's because that's a heavy enough round that even if you bring down muzzle velocity, like Schmidt said, there's only so low you can get before it stovepipes, and it's probably carrying enough kinetic to pass through someone's neck.
I would even say more than probably.
Yeah,
You're knocking a 30. That's a heavy fucking round, and we're talking 200 yards.
That's what Schmidt said.
I would even say with an M4, that's still a lot of ass at 200 yards. You add a 30-06 at 200 yards, even wet, and even if it had a little booty, that bitch is still blowing through it. It takes.
Well, so Schmidt just said that, and he packs rounds, him and his brother, and he said, yeah, the hand loads is a stretch. To purposely load a very light load takes crazy knowledge. Yeah.
I would believe that. But that even, like you said, a 30-06 at 200, when we have to crike a patient, or if there's something, you could do that with a pen. You know what I mean? Even not even going hard. You could literally poke and go if you needed a pen, but it don't take much. We talking about a 30-aught with some ass and hate behind it.
I don't know the grams off the top of my head, but that's a pretty substantial weight compared to like 9 mil, and that's where I think I tend to lose it a little bit in my train of thought, is I'm not always scaling my weights and everything. Like, I'm thinking, there's plenty of instances of 9 mils getting enlodged in fairly small bone groups, but that is a hollow point or whatever. But most likely, even if it were a hollow point, a deer round in the neck there's nothing up here. There's just one bone structure, and it's your spine.
Yes.
In
cricoid material.
Yeah.
The hardest structure in there is that cricoid material, which makes your esophagus, basically, and then the bone behind it. A 30-06 is blowing through both them bitches. I promise.
Yeah. Even with a light load, it's still gonna.
I'll
blow out your throat.
This is what makes twinks shoot people like you. You're next.
Those comments.
I'm not coming out of hiding. No one knows where I am.
Those comments right there. That's what does it. Yeah, I I can't remember what they said about an exit wound,
Yeah.
but I would
There
dare to
wasn't
say
one.
because he was higher. I thought that, but I was like, I don't want to say that, and it's not true because I think I vaguely remember him saying they just had fragments and couldn't find the exit wound, so the round had to still be in it. With that being said, the fact that he was up high, and it makes a difference. He was higher than Kirk was, which means he's shooting down at an angle, which at a little bit it makes a difference. Not very much, but the ass behind that, there is still gravity acting on that round going down. So not only does it have the help of the ass behind it from coming out of a rifle, but gravity itself also helps with that because it's still going down. Intrinsic force still works on a bullet. It may not be significant, but there's still enough. And the point is, you have the ass coming from the round plus gravity and all this other stuff. And to hit in here, shooting through a chest, you're going to more likely not have an exit wound because you got the rib cage, you got your sternum, you got the xiphoid bones, you got all this stuff. So it has to hit that and then it tumbles. You shoot someone with a lot of
And
bone
then you have the
structure.
pressure bubble too.
Yeah. And then on top of that, even the organs themselves aren't resistant to it, but it's going to hit that material. And there's so much fiber material too that it's going to kind of tumble it.
Just water alone slows down.
Yeah. Through the throat, there is less material. Like I said, you got your skin and then the cricoid bones and then really nothing. And then your spine. There is less to stop a 30-06 besides blowing straight the fuck back. There should have been an exit wound. And if not an exit wound, there should be something here that you can at least see. Like there's going to be an impact where you can see it hit the bone. You could see whatever, especially that close. Because that's not a lot of distance for that round to start to slow down this descent. It's still got a lot of ass at 200 meters. A fuck ton of.
Yeah.
So to go through paper, basically.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
I never
where,
thought
like,
about
where it
that.
seemed like in the video where
Yeah,
it went
for
was
sure. But
like through
still,
here, which is even less. You know what I
yes,
mean? Like
because you're
it
going in
wasn't.
between the cricoid material. Yes,
Yeah.
100%. My bad. What'd you say, Jordan?
No, I was gonna say I didn't think about it like breaking the bones or something, but they're saying his spine stopped it. And that's a great point. Let's just play devil's advocate and say the official story is correct. It hit the spine and stopped. It would have shattered that spine. And if you look at the video,
He would have.
and if you look at the video, he didn't do that. His head was stuck
He
up.
had nerve retention. Yeah, he had nerve retention through his. I don't know what the medical term is, but it seemed like more like he was knocked out. It wasn't like a flop where the nerves in the spine were severed. You know, the nerves in this, like usually, like when you see people get shot, they flump. They don't go. It almost looked like he reacted for a second.
Yeah.
And if the nerves are severed, he's not going to react. Whether maybe it was severed and what I thought was somewhat of a reaction was just the nerves dying and he kind of locked up. But to me, it didn't seem like someone who broke their neck.
Now, I say this, and it's an advocate to that. With nerve damage or nerve disconnection, it is true that a lot of the time that it would be a limp reaction. But there are times too, just because your nervous system is disconnected from your brain. That doesn't mean that the rest of it is disconnected from your body. The electrical signals are still going. And muscle tension is strong as shit. So even if you got a disconnection, your head and your brain, you're not there. But it's like cutting the head off a snake. It's not there. But the body of that
Still can
snake is
fire.
still
Yeah.
moving and it's still strong as shit. The body's the same way. It's just like rigor mortis is not really a good way to explain it, but there are things where the muscle structure itself that if you shock the system enough, break a neck, whatever, and it sends that, it's the perfect timing where the system rushes the rest of the body, you're like, you're dead, but the rest of the body is still trying to survive.
That's what I mean. Like the tensing could have been like a rigor mortis or
more like a
dying
muscle
signal.
It would be more
A
like a
dying
muscle,
signal.
yeah, because your
Yeah.
rigor mortis is going to set in at
No, I know.
earliest for
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would say for something as sudden like that, it could be the body's way. It would almost speak to it hitting the spine because the spine is the brain's bridge for the rest of the body. So if it did hit the spine, it kind of locks up your nervous system, and then you're there, and you're
that's kind
stiffed
of what
up.
it reminded me of
So-
too. Like you get knocked out. Like when someone gets knocked out,
Yeah,
doom. So
it
it would
could have.
lead to believe that it hit but I was just going towards more of your guys' argument. Like if it did stop in the spine, I feel like it would have caused
No,
serious
yeah,
damage.
I'm not saying. I was just speaking on like because we see a lot of patients with head damage, even shots, and a lot of it, and a lot of them are kind of tensed up. And you're like, what the hell? But they're dead. They're not really alive. But needless to say, that should still be severed. Like it should have been blown clean.
Yeah, he should have flopped
Yeah,
more than
like
he
it
did.
should have been a tense up for a minute and then a sudden relaxing because the body no longer has the brain saying do this, do that.
Yeah.
So I can see the reaction of tensing up, and then he should have kind of melted a bit. If it did hit the spine, it 100% should be shattered or some kind of strong. This should be way bigger, and then the exit wound. If it's at an angle like that, it's probably coming either out of that shoulder. So there should still be something. And the only playing devil's advocate is if it was to the side and it came through, there should be a big ass entrance through here because it's a 30-6 at 200 yards. It's not something little. And then it went in, hit the clavicle or hit the hyphoid bones here in the shoulder, and it kind of bounced. That's a thick bone. These here is thick. And then hits there and starts to bounce around in the chest. Then I could see that if it was at an angle. But there should still, depending on where
But
it's
that's
at.
a characteristic you expect out of a smaller round. 5.56 or something else. A 30-6.
At 200 yards, some
Yeah.
shit should be torn the fuck up. They're like 30-6 on bone, on meat and bone, not even strong muscle. You could shoot, people shoot deer and cattle with that shit, which have a thicker muscle than we do, and it fucks them down.
Yep.
Human muscle and meat and bone is way less resilient than that. You know what I mean? Like 9 mil rounds and 5.56 fucks us up. So a 30-aught at 200, that shit should be disgusting. Like he should have tensed up and then it should have been disgusting.
His head should have fallen off.
Damn near. That's
Yeah,
what I
that's-
think.
We should start to fucking, yeah. I mean, and that's the only thing when I really think about it. And like I was on the spot and said it, but like even a light charge, that's
Right.
a big round. It's not 5.56. It's not like there should be issues there. But
Yes, at and we keep at 200 yards. That's close as shit. Like people should understand that is close as fuck for a big round. There's a lot of ass coming out of that. Like 200 yards is like just enough for that shit to get going. Like just enough for it to have max ass behind it.
yeah, I don't know 30-6, but you're probably still damn near the up flight of it out of the barrel before it reaches
would
its
have to be.
apex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should be some ass behind it. That dude. Either way, that's my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I
I think-
figured Mac was going to give the most logical answer, and he definitely did.
Yeah, we're kind of
Yeah,
Crazy.
we're getting over here,
That's why there's three.
I got
of us.
one
So
more
you
question,
gotta have.
and we can give quick answers here. But I think we can end on this. Do you think there's any way this dude doesn't get convicted? And I'll go first. I don't think it matters. I think so many people put holes in this case. I don't think it matters. I think he's still getting the death. I think he was the patsy. He was set up.
I don't either. I think irregardless almost of what comes out at this point, they'll do their best to throw mud in the water. They'll do their best to just nope, this is the guy who's going down.
Whoa, you kind of cut. What was the question? Do we think he's what?
Do
Getting
you think
convicted.
he's going to get convicted? Is there any way, after all the holes that have
That-
been poked in this story?
He's going down, and that's the bottom line.
You're
what
busted.
I think is, and that's the bottom line. Oh hell
Goodbye.
yeah. Yeah, I do think because this is what I think. He gets convicted if the Charlie Kirk thing stays around. If it kind of dissipates, then
They caught him
Oh,
again.
they got him again.
They-
Mac, just
know,
hang on
They
for a
caught him
second if
again.
you're there. Just wait till you're back.
And Schmidt had a good point. That is one of the things is if I had a little more foreknowledge, like he's a hunter and a shooter, and he would have been, at least for this second segment of like what we were just talking about, someone good to get in because he's, shot hot loads, he shot light loads, no loads. You kind of gotta, that's more of a personal issue, but
hello.
and he said the same thing. It's too late to change it. It's too late to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
All right,
back
Mac,
now.
you're back.
What did I walk? What? No, we're not just gonna pretend like I didn't walk into hot loads and no loads.
Don't worry about it.
That needs explanation.
Yeah, it's personal information.
Yeah, I think as long as the Charlie Kirk thing is around, I think his case continues to tumble and he gets convicted. I think if it disappears, starts to disappear a bit, and let's just say some other crazy shit is going to happen, which it's going to, because this administration picks one crazy thing to do a month or every 2 months, and then something fucking big is going to happen, and then it's going to fall to the wayside just because I don't think it was a real assassination. I think it was an agenda push and it did its job. So, fuck it.
It'll be brought up again when Trump wants to fire Cash.
Yeah.
He fumbled it, we found it, and this is why he's
Yeah.
getting fired.
Yeah. I see him getting convicted just because they want to put it to fuck him. Why not? They have no ties to him. And if they
Yeah.
convict him, everyone's happy. We got the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. We got the guy that did this, and it ends there. No one's asking questions. Let's not pretend that this administration doesn't give a fuck about law and judicial shit getting poked holes in, shit not being true. Our president literally lies about shit that you can look up, and plenty of people go, that's not even fucking true. And he's just like, well, I say it is. And then that's it. No one questions it ever. Like, what are you talking about? We literally can look at, I just want you guys to know that the sky is blue. Like, we can, or the sky is green. Like, we can go outside and look at that motherfucker, it's green, trust me, and then moves on. And motherfucker loses no sleep. Because I even recently looked at most president who was caught in the most lies. And it's the current president who, and these are confirmed lies, like things that people can look up. The current president has been caught in like over 40 something lies in just his second term alone of like shit that they can
shut
confirm.
the fuck up. He just starts rambling on, and it's like, bro, stop.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Even the shit he's doing, like he's doing shit, and now all of a sudden people are like, hey, the Supreme Court is shutting Trump down because they said it was illegal. Yeah, motherfucker, everyone else knew it was illegal. Y'all had to vote on it? And he just does shit, and no one, you know what I mean? So I can also see it where they're just like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I know we got the real shooter, but we said he was the shooter first, so fuck him. He's going to jail, and the other dude gets a free pass or whatever the case may be.
100%.
Come to find out, it was Eric Kirk's new boyfriend. JD Vance killed him, but the other dude is
But
going to
he's my
fucking
vice president.
yeah. But I can't do it, So I'm just saying.
he would-
I ran.
He would immediately gaslight Charlie Kirk. He's like, he was a bad guy anyways. He had to go.
Yeah, he was a loser. He needed to die. I'm glad he
He was
died.
a loser.
Like, it was just.
He didn't. He said Israel was bad and
Yeah.
China was good.
Yeah, China was good. He was a loser. I never liked him. Like, it's just fucking, like, he would diss him so bad. His wife, she's totally ugly. Never liked her anyway. Like, it's just, I can see it going.
That's the ultimate hater. If you
Oh,
tell
Jordy.
a dead dude,
What's up, Jordy?
if you tell a dead dude his wife is ugly, you're dissing a dead
Yeah.
dude.
Me.
But Trump
That's
would,
me.
but Trump would say shit. He's
Yeah,
that
he would.
guy.
He would.
He was
He
dead.
would.
That's why he died,
would.
because you were ugly. He wanted to get away from you. He died because you were ugly. Like, he would just,
He had to die.
like, that. He had to die. He couldn't go away. You'll follow him. Like, fucking.
A great success.
I could see it going both ways. But I do think if I was going to throw my hat in the ring, I say he gets convicted, because that's it completes the pretty package. Like, let's just put this
Yeah.
shit to bed. Call it good. All the plot holes and all that doesn't matter. Like I said, this administration doesn't give a fuck about plot holes. We got a president that's 37 convicted. Like, who gives a shit about the law and that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the plot holes really matter. Honestly, I don't. They just put a bow on it, call it good, and let's move on with the next month when he rolls out that we actually been building a 500 million man robot army that we're sending into Iran or some shit.
I'm out.
You know what I mean? Like,
All
he
right.
fucking,
Yeah, I think that's
huh?
you're gonna keep me up at night. That's a good time to end it. I don't need to hear about this 500
well,
million man.
It's true. It's like he's gonna come out next month with like a fucking alien from Camino talking about we got 200 million units and 1 million more on the way. Like, fucking, we got a commander.
No, that's
some shit. The Camino.
that's Melania's army to take back Russia.
Yeah.
Comes here on Earth, and it is Melania.
Yeah. It's just some fucking it pans to some shipyard in Virginia, and it's a battle cruiser with clones going in that bitch going to Iran or some shit. Like, there's just who knows what he's got.
All right, we're tired. Look, we're starting to say crazy shit
All right.
Well, I
all
was
right.
telling
that
the
could
truth.
potentially be true.
Yeah, I was telling.
Yeah. We'll end this one. I think we have like 7 people watching at one point. So appreciate everybody watching. I don't know when we'll be back. We'll figure that out. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and for everybody who watched,
I
and
fly in.
participated. I appreciate it. Friday.
Thanks for watching our reverse Oreo.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. See you guys. I appreciate it.
Bye.